Everybody's talking all this stuff about him. Why don't they just let God live? Tell me why. He don't need permission, makes his own decisions. That's God's prerogative. That's God's prerogative.
Hey there, cultlings, longtime listeners, and new. It's your host, Ash. And if you are new to the Bible, let me just give you a little bit of background. So way back in December of 2022, when Michelle Mosher was my co-host, we started a segment called Ash and Michelle Do the Bible. Michelle had spent many of her teen years in a Pentecostal cult. I myself, at that point, had never picked up a Bible. Well, I still haven't. I mean, technically, I've thumbed through and whatnot, but I don't know the Bible like Michelle did, or my current co-host, Crystal. So when Michelle got moving and grooving in other areas of life and couldn't do the Bible anymore, I knew that I had to keep quenching my thirst for that biblical knowledge, y'all. So I kept going with the segment, but with my friend and comedian, Crystal Adams, instead. And now it's called Ash Learns the Bible. And it's been a Patreon exclusive ever since its birth of Ash and Michelle doing the Bible. And then, I grooved into Ash learning the Bible. So today's episode is for anyone who's new to our Bible adventures. We've compiled the first 3 episodes, but there is actually 4 episodes of Ash and Michelle Do the Bible available total. Then there's also 11 episodes of Ash Learns the Bible. So yes, that's 15 episodes of biblical merriment over on the Patreon. So every month here on the regular feed, we'll be releasing a past Bible episode. So tune in for next month for episode 4, or if you want to hear it right frickin' now, as well as Ash Learns the Bible episodes 1 through 11, then head over to our Patreon right now at patreon.com/TSFU.
Adam goes, hey, God, my wife is running away. So they send some angels after her. She doesn't want to come back. So instead of coming back to be with Adam and having to have missionary sex for the rest of her life, she opts to be a demon and have 100 of her children die every day.
That is so fucked up. It's fucked up. So fucked up. It is just so damn fucked up. That's fucked up.
Welcome back to That's So Fucked Up, a podcast about cults, murder, and other generally fucked up stuff. We're your hosts. I'm Ashley Richards.
And I'm Michelle Mosher.
Hey guys, welcome. This would normally be Patreon only, as our patrons know. For the last, about 2 years, we've been doing Patreon exclusive interviews. So we've got close to 30 exclusive interviews with experts and all kinds of other cool people.
I will say I'm a little salty that the Amanda Knox interview was right before I became your co-host, because in a very weird way that only a young true crime addict could, I've been fangirling over Amanda Knox since her case happened and she was found innocent. Fucking crazy.
You know what? She's a really cool gal. We should try to get her back.
I bet she is. Just introduce me to her.
I'll wait a little while so it's not super annoying. Like, hey, you can be our friend again.
It's me again.
During the holidays, it gets a little bit hard to book guests. As everyone knows, it's a pretty crazy time this year for everybody. Business-wise, family and friends-wise, money-wise, everything. So
everywise.
So Michelle and I have decided to start a new segment instead for the foreseeable future, and it is called Ash and Michelle Do the Bible. And today we are releasing this episode to everybody because we want y'all all to know what's going to go on down in the Patreon for the next probably 4 months. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in the Bible. There's like even more than one Bible, which confused the fuck out of me, but Michelle's going to explain that. So if you're like me and you don't know jack shit about the Bible, or you just want to hear the stories told in the words of Michelle and explained like you're 5, then I hope you enjoy this episode and join us over on Patreon. Patrons, hi. Thanks for being here. We love you.
We love you.
I'm excited to start our new segment.
Me too. Ashley, in honor of this new segment, I'd like to introduce a sub-introduction song. It's not a full song, but it's just a micro song that I've entitled, Let's Get Biblical. So
I love
Ashley,
it.
Let's get biblical. I wanna get biblical. Get into the Bible, yeah. Let me hear your Jesus talk. Your Jesus talk. Let me hear your Jesus talk.
Jesus talk. Your Jesus talk.
I wrote that for you.
Oh my God, I loved it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And it's perfect because it is a combination of both a delightful song, play on words, and also an Office reference.
Yes, I absolutely knew that.
Oh, yeah.
What was it? Safety training day? No, sexual harassment.
Let's get ethical.
Ethics training day.
Yes. Ethics training day. And today we are going to start where it feels most
Are you going to train me on ethics today, Michelle?
I mean, there's some ethics in here.
You going to tell me how to be a good person?
There's definitely some of that up in here.
Dope.
Before we get into it, I want to make a little disclaimer that I am not a biblical scholar. Got like 9 or 10 years deeply rooted in Christianity, went to Christian college for a year, have read the Bible cover to cover, but also know that a lot of this is going to be my interpretations and what I was taught in my branch of Christianity, as well as doing other research and things. But just wanted to say that because I know that obviously, like we said, different branches of Christianity have different interpretations of different parts of the text, which means I might say something and that's not how our listeners have maybe interpreted it. So just kind of take that and...
Well, I was just going to say, and we are aware that a lot of our listeners do have some sort of Christian background, or...
Absolutely.
We're not dissing anybody.
No.
We're just diving in, trying to figure out what's going on.
It is literally just looking at the text as a text and finding the fucked up elements of it. But of course, if you practice an organized religion and it makes you happy and you don't use it as an excuse to be mean to others, because some people do that, then fucking you do you, honey boo boo.
Get it.
Live your best life. Live your best religious life and make yourself happy, because do that.
Equality for all the people.
And equality. Yeah. So let's dive in. Yeah. We're going to start where it makes the most sense to start, which is in the beginning. Literally in the beginning.
So this is like, is this BC? Is this AD?
This is so fucking BC. Do you know what BC and AD
Before
stand for?
Christ and after death. What?
So,
no?
Before Christ, yes. A lot of people think that, but AD actually means Anno Domini, which is Latin for the year of our Lord. So if you've ever heard someone say, oh, the year of our Lord 2022, that's why they say it. There you go. Fun fact.
Oh, that's really funny. I bet even a bunch of Bible readers thinks that it means after death.
I thought that for a very long time. So like...
Maybe because you're not on the same level as me. Since this is something that I found out, I will relay this to the listeners. Y'all, there are multiple Bibles and multiple books within those Bibles. So there's the Catholic Bible, the Mormon Bible, and then the King James Bible, which is what we're going to go off, right? Because it's like the main Christian one. Dude, look how much I know already. It's like crazy.
Yeah, you're crushing it. The regular, I call it regular because I was a Protestant Christian. But there's like the Bible, and you think of like the Bible that you find in hotel dresser drawers.
So weird.
Is typically the King James. And that text has been translated to a bunch of different versions too. So there's like, they basically try to make it more readable, but it's the same Bible. It's just, it's not a regular Bible. It's a cool Bible.
The Mormon Bible is the same Bible?
No, sorry. The King, like the King James version, like when you think of the Christian Bible, that the King James version is like the, with these and thous and
the Mormons
Adam
and
begat.
The Catholics, they did their own Bible, kind of, right?
They did their own Bible. But also that Christian Bible has been translated into what they call different versions. So there's like the New Living Translation, the New International Version, the English Standard Version. And it's basically people who come in and say, they're like, this Bible's hard to read. We're going to make it better to read. And so they put it in different words to make it more approachable or more whatever.
So is that Kat lent me the Bible for complete idiots? Is that a version that
That would probably be a translation, unless the only thing I can think is, because I haven't seen it, but if it's like chunks of text and then explanation.
I think it's more of like a summary. Outing myself. I'm sorry, Kat. I haven't even opened it yet. Kat and I met up and she showed me a glossary. That helped. She was like, all these stories in the left column were in the Jewish Bible, and then all the ones in the right column
that's awesome.
were in the Christian Bible. So I know a little bit.
That's awesome. I love that. We'll be pulling from a couple different Bibles. The main content will be the stories in what we think of as like the Christian Bible, but we also have some little tidbits from the Catholic Bible, the Hebrew Bible, and even some other Hebrew texts because they tell the bigger story.
Okay, hold on though. Mm-hmm. Is this the Old Testament or the New Testament?
Old Testament.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so we're going to the way back.
Wait,
times.
but if
literally
you go
the
to
first
church
words are
today,
in the beginning.
don't they look at the New Testament?
We look at all the
Holy
testaments.
Fuck.
The New Testament is placed more weight on because we believe that they believe.
Michelle's like, oh my God, I'm going back to my. What was the name of your group? What was your name? What was it called?
Mount Hope
Church Days.
Mount Hope Church Days. Yep. Oh, wow, that was weird. So the New Testament, it's when Christ came and sacrificed himself for everyone's sins. And the idea is that it kind of creates this life of more grace and more
in the Old
opportunities.
Testament,
the Old Testament is super old school.
It's pretty hardcore, right?
Go to jail.
Like, go to jail
Straight
right away.
to jail.
Stone her to death away.
God will flood the world. God will destroy the whole ass city. Like
He's going to kill your baby. So, like bummer shit in the first one, right?
Bummer city in the Old Testament.
So we're starting there.
We're starting there.
Because I like a bummer.
We are starting where you're going to open your Bible. I mean, you're not physically going to do it, but like open your Bible to page 1. That's where we're starting.
I don't know. I guess it's because I'm like 5. I thought you were going to say open your butt.
Open your butt. That's where we're starting. Welcome the Spirit of the Lord into it. Okay, that's an interesting way to begin this story. And here we are. All right. So before it gets too fucked up, we've got to do a little bit of preamble. So if you're familiar at all with the creation story, do you know about the whole first 6 days and then on the 7th day, God rested? Let's start from the...
You can tell by my face. I'm like, all right, I've heard the 7 days thing.
So basically God exists and there's like fucking nothing and it's just like him. And so he decides he's going to create heaven and earth.
Is he a person in this?
He's a god, but like...
Does he live in the sky?
A male personification.
Does he live like on earth?
There's not a sky. So this is real hard for people to picture because our brains, if you think about the human experience, our brains don't really have a concept of infinity and of nothing because like we don't have to wrap our heads around that as people. If you really want to break your brain, picture like God existed and he's just always existed.
But there's nothing else.
He never started. There's nothing else. It's just him. And he's just kind of...
Dinosaurs never came.
There.
Okay.
Not yet. And they're not...
And they don't come?
There are some spots where people think they mention the Christians. Because, well, we'll get there. There's so much. I'm going
to stop asking questions because you have a job to do, and I'm going to completely stop you from doing that if I let every curiosity just stumble out of my mouth. So zip it.
I get that. But, along the way, feel free. So just to avoid and God. And then God's like, let there be light. And then there was. So what I love is that the Bible is very like, and God said, let there be light. And then there was. And it was good. And like everything he says, he's like, and it was good. And then he's like, you know what? I like light, but I don't want it all the time. So let's also have dark. So he did that thing.
And it was good.
And then he was like, and it was good. Every time he's like, and let there be this. And it was good. And let there be this. And it was good. And so they kind of just make it sound like he is just saying stuff and it's happening. And also they make it sound like he's real tired from doing it because he doesn't do that much every day. So I don't know how hard this all was. Because day 1, literally, we go from nothing to day and night.
Okay.
Day and night. Ooh, the lonely stoner seems to free his mind at night. So, and that's it. One of my whole ass work days was just, let there be light and let's split that from darkness.
Wow, Michelle.
That feels good for the day.
You don't know how much energy you have to exert to create light and dark, though.
That's true.
I'm sorry, that's true.
I've never created light or dark.
Like, wow.
Okay, sorry. Thank you for standing up for God here.
Well, somebody has to.
Somebody has to. Day 2, God creates a firmament.
Wait, is this when he created cats and dogs? Because I've seen a lot of shirts about this.
No, but I'm confused about where you're shopping for clothes. And the firmament is basically just a big ass solid dome that is created to divide like blue upper sky water from down on the ground water. And I feel like this is just because people didn't really know how the earth worked, because it's like The Simpsons where they put a dome over the city, but just the whole place. It's not
I don't know.
there.
But haven't you seen those shirts?
There's not like a real
that are
plastic
like,
dome.
On the third day, God created cats.
No.
Where am I shopping?
Also, where are you shopping? And also, that's inaccurate. Because, like, okay, so day 2 is just,
Firmament.
Let me divide up the water, the up water and the down water.
Is like the sky and
Day
the ocean.
3.
I'm looking
Yeah,
for
kind of,
real
but he hasn't,
meaning here when there's none to be found.
I get it. He hasn't really, yes to the ocean, but like he hasn't actually created the sky yet. He does that later.
Okay.
So it's just
he just kind of created the
water
ocean
up there or something. Yeah, they don't do a lot of scientific
like
explanations
that.
since they wrote this back in the
I'm somebody who has questions.
I know. And I wish this is that moment where you're like, I have questions. I'm like,
I don't have answers.
I don't have
Stop
that
it.
answer. And no one does because it's the Bible.
Only God knows.
Ashley, put those questions on the shelf.
My bad. You know what? I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
Yeah.
I should have remembered that from the step 1. Questions on the shelf.
You should.
You guys, that is from Mormonism, but I think it can be applied in all kinds
so
of
it's
places.
apropos, like the Pentecostal Christian version would be, you just have to have faith.
And that is a
Bad to not have faith.
thought-terminating cliche. Everybody should read Cultish by
Yes.
Amanda Montell. Amazing.
Amazing. So before we get to day 3, where God did not create cats.
Fuck. When did he
Let's
get
take a
to
little
that?
break.
Okay.
So it's day 3, and this is when God basically gathers up all the water into one spot. I guess Pangea. This bitch don't know about Pangea.
You know about Pangea.
So he creates. We know about Pangea.
You're telling me.
Yeah, creates dry land, grass, seeds, plants, and he creates plants. And he's like, you know what, plants? I created the first round. Y'all got this from here.
That
so he
seems
gives
fair
them
enough.
the ability to just keep doing the
Like, I
things.
can't keep training you guys. Like, I got a lot to do.
Yeah, I can't just keep making you. Yeah, he's real busy. He's got other words to say to like make stuff.
Yeah, and I think "and it was good" is going to be my new catchphrase.
And you're like, yeah, I did this today.
And it was good.
And it was good. Day 4, we get seasons, sky and sun. So this is where the sky comes in. So it's confusing. What did firmament put up there? I don't know. But day 4 is when we get the sky and the sun and the stars and the moon. And then he done. Day 5 is where you get cats, since you were very concerned. Yeah. Day 5 is all the creatures of the sea and the sky. Oh, you know what? No, I'm sorry. Day 6 is where we get cats.
Wow, he just really is taking his time on cats, huh?
Taking his real sweet time.
So day 5.
Day 5, sea and sky. So all the fishies, all the birds, because like no fucking evolution. You can't believe in evolution. You can believe that like animals got better because we can actively see that happen with our own eyes now. There are people who believe that God created everything exactly as it is today, and I don't understand how they explain anything.
So are there Christians who believe in evolution, but they think that God did it? Well, like we evolved from like monkeys and like there was dinosaurs and stuff, but like God was making all that happen. Is there like a version where there's that?
Definitely.
Oh, okay.
I would say, because you have to think, there are so many people who practice Christianity. You see a whole range from people who literally believe that the Bible word for word is exactly how everything happened. And then you have people who believe that the Bible is a guiding set of principles for us. And, it's written by man, so it's fallible, but it kind of tells us how God wants us to live our lives, and kind of every span in between, because there are so many different churches and so many different church leaders. And
can I just say, I think
shit evolves.
Part of the reason I think religion is so silly is because it's like, oh, we all believe in this like same thing, but just like tiny variations of it are different. So let's get into big wars and like murder each other over it and stuff. It's like, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, you guys.
People love to kill each other over God. All right. We are only on the days. We got a lot. We haven't even got to the fucked up stuff.
This series is going to take the next 3 years.
It's going to take, these are going to be long-ins apparently. So we got day 6 is cattle and other land beasts. So there's cats.
And dogs.
Don't fuck with cats.
Dog people too.
And dogs.
I swear to God, the shirts, it's not where I shop, Michelle. It's where I see in the world. Like, I swear, like, grandmas love a shirt that say, like, and on the 7th day or the 6th day, God created dogs.
Why are you so surrounded by grandmas? I have a lot of questions we don't have time to answer this morning. So day 6 starts with cattle and other land beasts. And this is where some folks believe the dinosaurs came in. And
let go of the shirt, Ashley. Nobody cares
enough about the sun. Enough about the sun.
Nobody cares.
You're like, okay, but like the shirt says
grandma's
so
shirt.
much Bible to talk about.
Okay, what happened on the seventh day?
Off the shirt thing. No, 6-day part 2. We finally get people.
Ugh, that's where he fucked up, huh?
Yeah, for sure. No, it was good.
Oh, sorry. It was good. It was good.
Yeah. The line about people says, God says, let us make in our image and likeness. And so he says, like, let us. So sometimes people think maybe he's got some angels. Maybe there are lesser gods that
And
exist.
who was there writing down his quotes, just out of curiosity, since he was there by himself? Who was his scribe that was writing down his words?
You're going to have to put that question on the show.
Okay, my bad. Because I thought he was by himself, but there seems to be a lot of direct quotes here.
A lot of direct quotes. Because there are books that aren't in the Bible. There's a whole thing about how they decided what books should actually be part of the Bible and which ones they were like, no, these aren't really God's words,
And
but
like,
these
who
are.
decided
And
that?
it's a whole...
Just like a tribe of men? That's why
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
It is a group of
A
men.
group of men decided? Ugh.
Yes, go
Yeah.
figure.
Wild.
So the other thing I always thought, because, we're created in God's image and likeness, and this was a question I often had when I was a Christian, did God have a belly button? He didn't
You
need
would
one.
have that fucking question.
I thought about this so many times. I'm like, he didn't need it because he just existed. But if we're created in his image,
So did you ever ask that in church? And they were like, shut the
Yes.
fuck up, Shell.
they actually told me no, God wouldn't have had a belly button. And I was like, that's a weird thing for you to just claim to know. It's super weird for you to just be like, no, God didn't have a belly button. Oh yeah? Tell me why,
They
Brad.
hated kids like you
Did you
and
fucking
questions
see
like
it?
that.
They were like, God, I gotta get out of youth ministry. These fucking teenagers.
Did you ever do youth ministry?
I mean, I never formally did it. I think I delivered 2 sermons at my youth group.
Wow.
And I used to lead Bible study.
And
Oof,
here
yeah,
you
I got
are,
a whole history.
Fucking
Here
15
I am,
years later,
teaching
leading
you.
Bible study again.
Leading fucking Bible study
Wild.
still. Very different twist. Full circle. And okay, so this is when God's like, all right, Adam, well, he doesn't call him Adam yet. Like, bro, who I created, you're in charge of this
On
place.
the 7th day?
We're still on day 6. Day 6 is a big one. For all the mockery I did at days 1 through 5 being real easy, day 6, he put the
Okay.
work in. So he's like, bro, you're in charge of all this. Just figure it out. I don't have time to just keep running this shit. So you are in charge here. And then it says, so this is interesting because you might be familiar with where Eve came from Adam's rib. Have you heard that story?
Yeah. Explain that more.
Oh, well, I will. I'll dive in. So I'm like, wait, let's not get there. Because it said here, God created men to his own image. To the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. And this is important because this shows men and women being created at the same time. And this is where a lot of people say, yo, Eve wasn't the first woman, and it may have been this woman, Lilith. Have you heard of Lilith Fair?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's who this is named after because Lilith is kind of seen as this female empowerment, independent woman symbol. And you don't get the details of Lilith in the traditional Christian Bible. You see elements of her in the Jewish Bible and some sacred Jewish texts. There's a little bit about her later in the Bible, but you don't get this whole ass story. But they tell it other places, and I'm going to tell it to you because it's a little fucked up.
Okay. That's what I'm here for.
So Lilith, in Hebrew, apparently Lilith also means screeching owl.
It's either this really cool lady or a screeching owl.
or screeching owl.
Easy to confuse.
So basically, the big picture is Lilith is Adam's first wife, and she's disobedient. So God gives Adam a second, better wife.
And just kills Lilith or what?
Well, basically, here's what happens. So Lilith and Adam are chilling. They're like, yeah, whoa, look at this. We got this whole ass earth to ourselves. And if you take it at a big picture, 10,000 foot view, it's basically like Adam wanted to be dominant over Lilith, and Lilith said, no, fuck you, Adam. We are equals because we were created from the same earth at the same time.
Yeah.
And Adam wasn't into that. If you look at the exact text, it actually says that Adam wanted Lilith to lie under him. And Lilith was like, no, you need to lie under me. So it could be interpreted that this whole ass argument started from who wanted to be on top. Adam's like missionary, and Lilith is like cowgirl.
bitch. I'm the boss.
Yeah.
I'm digging this Lilith.
And I mean, look, honestly, dude, cowgirl gets tiring. So I don't know if Lilith really was in the right mindset there.
You know
but
what? She
it's
wanted
fine.
to be empowered.
So she gets all pissed off. She runs away.
Classic women. Am I right?
Classic. And Adam goes, hey, God, my wife is running away. So they send some angels after her. She doesn't want to come back. So instead of coming back to be with Adam and having to have missionary sex for the rest of her life, she opts to be a demon and have 100 of her children die every day. I couldn't be more confused, but here we are.
Hold on. So she doesn't want to be Adam's submissive wife, so she has to become a demon and have 100 of her kids die every day.
100 of her kids die every
For the
day.
rest of time.
For the rest of time. How she's having enough children to have 100 die every, I don't know. So outside of the books that we specifically referenced, there are some other texts and lore that attribute Lilith to being the mother of earthbound demons, like our sexy demon succubi.
Succubus.
And incubi. Well, yeah, but succubi is like the plural, like when you got
Oh, right. Wait,
like octopi. Yeah.
wait, the Bible believes in succubis?
So it's kind of some like peripheral texts and religious lore.
Okay.
And they're like, oh, she's a lady demon. And these 100 children, not just human babies, incubi and succubi.
Demon babies that are going to go
Demon babies.
seduce humans if they can.
Exactly. Also, Lilith is responsible for men's wet dreams. So there's that. And so because of the whole children death thing and some text about like, it says in there, like she says she'll have dominion over male and female children and whatever. They say that she's to blame for stillbirths and sudden infant death syndrome as well.
So if you don't want to be a good submissive wife, you're basically Lilith.
Yeah. And apparently everything is your fault.
Cool.
Yeah. And it's a good time for us to take a little break.
All right.
Yeah. So we're back. God told Adam he's the ruler of the world. Adam and Lilith are having their debacle, whatever. But as far as God's concerned, day 6, I'm done. Work is done. Tomorrow's my day off. And that's why the Sabbath exists.
Is that Sunday? Sunday's
Sunday.
the day of rest. What the fuck is the Sabbath? That's a Jewish thing, right?
That's a Jewish thing. Yep. And Sabbath is a word that you'll hear in Christianity, but for like it actually being observed, it's a Jewish thing where if you're really, really intense, you don't do any work. Some people don't even use electronics or any of that.
You're talking more probably about like Orthodox or Hasidic Judaism, right?
Yeah, you wouldn't see this in more modern Judaism. But yeah, there are groups who practice that way. And there are also groups of Christians. I actually met 2 people at a wedding not long ago who didn't use electronics, use money on the Sabbath. So it's a whole thing.
I'm sorry. Whenever you put Orthodox or fundamentalist in front of something, it starts getting real fucking slippery. Slippery slope.
Yeah, real slippery. God gets back to the creating and he makes Eden, the garden.
Right.
You know, that great
The
place.
snake comes there.
Yes. So he goes, all right, Adam, look, created you this sweet garden. It's amazing. It's got all these great fruit trees. See that one? That tree's fruit will give you the knowledge of good and evil. Just don't eat from that one. All the other ones, you're great.
But he
That
didn't want
one-
Adam to have the knowledge of good and evil?
Yeah, because apparently in the Bible, knowledge is a sin. Don't do it. It's
Knowledge
bad. It's
is
real evil.
not power. Knowledge is to be put on the
It is
shelf
not.
and locked in a box.
Yeah, exactly that. So God tells Adam, all right, you see all these animals? Just give them some names. So Adam's like, well, that's a cat. Can we make a shirt about it?
And then he made a shirt.
And then he made a shirt, except he's naked and he doesn't know it yet. So not yet. And then this is where God goes, fuck, Adam, your last wife was terrible. I guess you need a new wife. So to solve this, instead of creating another female out of earth, because then, you know, she might think she's equal or something,
Ew.
he puts Adam to sleep. Shh, go to sleep, sweet baby. He pulls a rib out of his body and he creates a woman out of Adam's rib. And I am pretty goddamn confident that my church once told me that men have 1 fewer rib than women because of this, and that shit is not accurate.
Just like ew, though. The whole thing. Like, why is he surgically removing one of his bones and then making another person out of that? It's just like macabre.
Because it is macabre, but it's like, now, woman, you're made out of man, so now you gotta,
She's
you wouldn't
lessened.
exist if it wasn't for man, so you better listen
So it
to
totally
him.
flips the whole like men come out of women's vaginas, therefore women create life.
Yes.
And it just flips that. It's like,
Yeah.
well, bitch, if you didn't come from his rib, then you wouldn't even be having the opportunity to push this fucking child out of your vag. That seems,
Yes.
that's all
And while
fucked
there
up.
are, throughout the Bible, there are a few strong, independent women, it get ready for a real men-centric vibe for a lot of the Bible. Yeah.
Did you know that like 80% of people in America believe in God?
That's so fucking crazy.
And about 85% of Danish people do not believe in God. It's like literally almost
makes
the
more
exact
sense to me.
opposite with the numbers. Like almost everyone there is atheist. right? And almost everyone here is like, I don't know which one or who, but I'm a religion. Yeah. I'm a part of it.
Look how Christian-centered our country is. Like, we're a country founded on quote unquote religious freedom, but how many Christmas ads do you see compared to Hanukkah ads, Kwanzaa ads, fucking any other?
To be fair, the Christmas ads that I see never feature Jesus or anything like that. It's always like Santa and what's it called? Commerce selling. Like, Christmas isn't about the birth of Jesus. Yeah. I love fucking Christmas.
No.
I don't know shit about Jesus.
Me too.
Okay? Like, to me, Christmas is like Hallmark movies and lights. Like, it has nothing to do with Jesus.
I 100% agree, but it is kind of crazy that we don't glorify holidays that are not Christian holidays.
No, that's true.
Other than what, Thanksgiving?
People get together on Easter, like my family used to.
Yeah.
I mean,
eggs, bunnies
and eggs.
We could do a whole thing about how
not because of Jesus.
And all of the traditions that you know of are co-opted from paganism so that the pagans would be more likely to adopt Christianity. And oh my God, we could do a whole thing. But we got to talk about the Garden of Eden because we got a sneaky snake coming in.
Ooh, but now I want to hear about all that you just said.
Oh yeah.
That's another episode.
Let's think about if that's a good episode because it might be. But yeah, Adam and Eve, they're chilling. They're walking around naked. They're like, this is great. We are outside. We are naked and we are loving life. And then all of a sudden we get a sneaky snake that comes in.
Sneaky.
Sneaky. Look, I'm a snake. I'm a sneaky snake. You ever see that video? It was like a viral YouTube video, 15 years ago probably?
No, but I just think of the snake
from...
I'll
send it to you. It's so good.
The Jungle Book, you know?
I mean, that's a good one too. But I'm going to send you the snake. I'm a sneaky snake.
Okay, yeah, send me that.
He comes up in here, and mind you, according to the Bible, sneaky snakes used to have legs.
What? Doesn't that just make it a fucking lizard?
Well, yeah, but don't worry. Sneaky snake comes up. And he starts tempting Eve, who's just called the woman at this point, of course.
Wait, so there's Adam and the woman?
And the woman.
Hate this book.
I don't know if he's called Adam yet. He might be. I would have to go back and look. But there's some thoughts that the snake is Satan or a demon, but that's not really brought up yet. This is just literally, they're like, nah, it's a snake with legs.
So wait, they do all this stuff where they like go and explain stuff later from way before?
Oh yeah. The back books of the Bible do a lot to talk about because the Bible's written by men. So like you think about the New Testament, they're looking back at the Old Testament and they're saying, oh yeah, this shit, I can add some context here. This shit really makes sense if you think about it this way.
Yeah, that's what like
so they basically add the context they want.
About the Bible is like, show me the fucking scribe,
the money,
who was just sitting in the corner observing, writing all this down, taking down quote, who saw this to write it down?
God delivered the word to men to write down. He told them. He told them what he did. And
did they like read it out of plates, out of a hat too?
Out of a hat with a tiny rock.
Yeah, that happened once.
Fuck, that's such a good episode. Okay, so snake with legs really wants Eve to eat that knowledge fruit tree.
It's an apple, right?
No, like we've just turned it into an apple, but like it's not. It's just a fruit.
We just made it an apple. That's the whole like AD thing. It was like after death, apple, whatever, you know.
Apple. Yep, we just did that. And Eve's like, no, dude, I can't eat that. God said, no, I'm gonna die. And the snake's like, you won't die. You're gonna know shit. Don't you want to know shit? It's amazing. And she's looking and she's going, man, that fruit looks real good. And I would like to know things. And how dare women want to know things?
Or want to eat fruit.
Yeah. So she eats the fruit and then she goes to Adam and she's like, Adam, this fruit's fucking wild. I know so much now. You should eat the fruit.
I'm tripping balls. Have a bite.
Yes. Basically, this is the LSD tree. So then Adam eats the fruit. Now they know things. They know good and evil, and they see and know and understand. And that is considered the original sin.
And it was good.
It was probably real good. When we think about everything that happens, you'll hear them reference original sin. And basically, everyone just fucking blames Eve for fucking us all over. And the entire basis of Christianity is that Eve set us all up for failure by making us sinful, horrible people. And because of that, God had to send his son to take upon him the sins of the world and die for us so that we can go to heaven because Eve ruined everything for us.
Fucking cunt. And she just bit that apple like a selfish little hoe, just wanting knowledge and like equality.
So then they eat this fruit, they look at each other and be like, holy shit, we're naked. That's not good.
Oh my God.
We shouldn't be. Oh my God. So they sew together fig leaves. And that's where you get the imagery of like whenever you see little leaves on top of people's private bits. That's where that comes from. Yeah. So they made some little clothes out of fig leaves. And
so wait, the serpent was the devil, right?
Okay. So some people believe yes. Some people believe it's just a snake. Yeah. Beelzebub. So it really just depends on who you're talking to. Some people think it's Satan. Some people think it's just this terrible serpent.
That is what is so wild to me about this whole thing. is that
It's all
nobody
interpretation.
knows for sure. It's literally somebody's personal interpretation from reading the Bible themselves, or it's their pastor's interpretation, or their, I don't know, what are those other rabbi or the priest? There's all the people, the father, whatever.
And Ashley, this is the exact explanation for why there are so many branches of Christianity. Because anytime that someone doesn't like the interpretation, I mean, not anytime, that's how they all split off. They said, hey, I don't like the way that this church is teaching things. I'm going to teach it differently and start my own branch of
Some
Christianity.
guy's like, well, that's funny because when I read the Bible and I read that passage, it definitely tells me the exact opposite thing that you're saying. So I'm going to go have my own church. And then that's how like religion
100%.
happened.
And that's how we got here. So God comes into the garden. It's like when you live too close to your parents or your in-laws and they just like drop by to visit for no reason without calling you or telling you in advance. They just show up. God drops down into Eden. He's like, hello, Adam and Eve, what you doing? And they go, oh shit, we gotta hide. We made these fig clothes, but we're still naked and now we're afraid. They're naked and afraid.
The original Naked and Afraid.
The original Naked and Afraid, Adam and Eve. And so God's going, hey, where art thou? Adam, Eve, where art thou?
This isn't good.
And Adam's hiding. And like the little fink that he is, he's like, I'm naked. And so I'm not going to come out. And so God goes, how did you know you're fucking naked, man? And Adam, snitches get stitches at him. He just goes, Eve gave me fruit and I figured out that I'm naked.
She did it.
She did it. It was her
Eve
fault.
did it.
So God is pissed. And Eve goes, it's the serpent. He did it. Which, fair enough. He did.
Yeah.
And then he's about to punish the shit out of them after this quick break. Okay, so God's pissed. So first he starts with the snake. Snakes used to have legs. Snake. And he goes, no more legs for you. You got to crawl on your belly. You're going to eat dirt all day, every day. You're done.
Because snakes weren't even a thing until God got mad at lizards.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. God's punishment for Eve is that childbirth is going to be painful and terrible.
Rude.
So labor,
That's the punishment? Yeah.
that's the punishment.
So if you ever want to keep creating life, which is basically like your fucking mission, lady, every time you're going to have a human just like rip through your fucking vagina.
Yeah, gotta be terrible. And he makes her purpose to serve her husband, and she shall be ruled by her husband. So God just sets up, he's like, you know, you're gonna have to have his babies. That's gonna fucking suck. And whatever he tells you to do, sorry, you gotta do it because he's a husband. Clearly, you can't be trusted to make your own decisions.
I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
He also punishes Adam. So he says, all right, Adam, you had all this food like right at your fingertips. You could have just walked around in this nice garden and chilled. Now you're going to have to work for it. You're going to have to struggle and toil for food and work for the rest of your life. So that's why we have to plant stuff.
God's not just giving it up anymore.
God's not just giving up the food anymore. Now, one thing that inspires a little debate is that here God also says that man has become, quote, one of us because he knows good and evil. And that has spurred debate on like, well, does that mean that God is in the same league with gods and angels? Because he said you're one of us. And that's just a fun little biblical thing. Versus being, you know, like man down here, God up here. So people think that that means overall on the same level versus God rules everything and we're down here.
Wait, so Adam's on the same level as God now?
It's basically like the text says, man has become one of us because man knows good
But not
and evil.
woman?
Before, the only people who knew, well, and woman. Now we're in the like man.
Now we're just all part of man.
All part of man.
Mankind.
Yeah. Ugh, classic.
Right.
Mankind. Yeah. Yeah. Then he kicks him out of the garden. He says, this is it. You're never going to find this garden again. Get out of here. Go work for your food and have painful babies. That's the end of part 1. So that got us through Genesis 24.
How many Genesis are there?
It's a really good question. I don't know the answer to it off the top of my head. Genesis is a pretty solid long book. There's some good stories in Genesis.
So there's like the 3 different Bibles. Let's do a overall. What did Ashley learn? There's the Catholic Bible, the Jewish Bible, and the King James Bible. And the King James Bible is the Bible that's like widely used amongst Christians, but then there's like little different variations because people had different opinions and made their own jam, right?
Yeah, there are some other like sacred religious texts, but from where we're pulling and where we're mainly thinking about things, those would be your big 3.
Is the Old Testament and the New Testament, are those separate books?
They are part of what we think of as the Christian Bible. And so what you have to think of is King James is just one version. It's like the original.
Who the fuck is King James also? Like, I put that question on the shelf, but who is that?
Put it on the shelf. I'll look it up.
You're like, stop it.
So the King James version
him
is when you think of the translation you're probably most familiar with the these and the thous and all that. But there are other translations that are more colloquial. Also,
the Old Testament and the New Testament are two separate books.
Parts of the Bible, but they are both a part of the Christian Bible. So if you bought a Bible today, it would have the Old and the New Testament in it.
Okay. Would it have the book of Revelations?
Yep, that's the very last book of the Bible.
So
it is in the New Testament.
How many books are in the Bible book? That's so confusing. So there's this one book called the Bible, right? But how many books are inside that one?
There are 66 books
in
the
one
Bible.
book?
In one book. Yep. So yeah,
there's like Psalms
is a book of the Bible.
And Genesis and Revelations.
Yeah.
I know those.
Those are all different books
and
of the Bible.
And then there's like John.
The Gospel
of
John. Yep.
Jacob.
He's just a person. He doesn't have his own book, but we'll
Jingleheimer Smith. John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith.
Jingleheimer Schmidt. His name is my name
Wait,
too.
is he in the Bible?
Well, not Jacob, John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt, but like Jacob and John are both in there.
That's a real fucking person from the Bible.
No,
his name is my name too.
Yeah. So when we talk about the Bible is a book.
Okay, so no, wait. I'm actually, that really clears things up for me. The Bible's, it's just one book with 66 quote unquote books inside of it. Let's just fucking, can we call them chapters? I mean, I feel like that makes a lot more sense.
No. You have to think about how they were originally written, right? They weren't written by one guy who sat down and wrote the Bible. All of these separate books were written by different people at different times. And then a council got together and said, these are the ones that we think are correct. This is the Bible. That's, like I said, we can dive into that another time.
Job wrote his own book?
Yep. Job is a book.
Did he write it about himself?
Probably not.
Okay.
No, it's probably a different person who God delivered the story of Job into their brain and then they wrote it down.
Got it.
It's probably how that happened.
Hold on. Do we know who this Council of Men is? Like, have they ever been identified?
We do, but they have. But I would have to tell. We're gonna have to talk about that another time. It's
okay,
a whole thing.
I just want to know the yes or no.
I'm like, Ashley, let me tell you how the Bible's organized.
Sorry, wait. But like, the council is identified later.
Not in the Bible. That happened. Okay. All right. I love you so much.
Wait.
Wait. This is my favorite. I feel like I'm teaching middle school Bible study again. This is so great.
I said I want you to explain like I'm 5. Wait, you don't have to give me the whole history, but like this council of men who like decided what was going to go in the Bible, we've like identified these dudes. It's not like just like this like ethereal group of dudes.
No, it was Constantine and his people.
Cool. Yeah, you can tell me about that later.
And so you've got, it's a whole thing. But yeah, so the Bible is one big book. And then we call each of those separate sections books. The book of Genesis, the book of Revelations, the book of Job, the book of Psalms, the book, all the books, because they were all separate books at one point. And then each of those books have chapters. So when you look at those big chunks of text that have a big number in front of them, those chunks are chapters. And then within each of the chapters, every basically individual sentence or two, any kind of phrase of note is a verse.
Ugh.
So when you say Genesis 4:11, you're talking about the book of Genesis, chapter 4, verse 11.
That is like so cryptic, dude.
Man, it's funny. I still have some verses memorized, like Acts 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, said the Lord. They're plans for good and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope. That's from the New Living Translation. So it's not fancy, but fucking, I still have that one. I memorized that when I was 13 years old, 20 years ago. That's upsetting.
In and Out on the bottom of their cups and shit, they put like something. It says like
probably John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that all who believe in him would not perish but instead have eternal life.
Probably. That sounds like apropos.
That's the verse people usually quote because it's about Jesus and how he came and died for us.
John 23.
John 3:16.
Just gonna drop a quick John 3:16 on you, Michelle.
Drop a John 3:16.
Do people ever talk to each other like that? Are they ever like, you know what? Why don't you just think about that? And while you do, check out Genesis 11:17. Just drop it like that.
Kind of. You're not far off from some of my experiences.
It's like, I'm just going to give you this like code of like words and numbers, and then you go look that up, and it's going to give you a secret message that's going to answer the question that you just asked, but not at all.
Yeah. Or it's going to shame you for how you've behaved. Oh, you did that thing?
Job 11:2, you're a bad person. And it was good.
And God said, you suck. And it was good. All right, my dear. Well, that's the first fucked up section of the Bible.
This is my new favorite.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. I had a lot of fun. It's fun to use this knowledge of good and evil that I've had for good and not just have it sitting in my brain space, just taking up room that could be used for other important things like how to do taxes. So, hey, at least
you can totally tell though, like I'm so enthralled just by the way that I'm looking at you the whole time.
Well, because usually you're the one that's like, Michelle, ad break. And I was like, and it's time for a break. You're like,
oh, it is?
Oh, yeah.
No,
it is.
time completely flew. I was fascinated. I'm so excited. Like, I've wanted somebody to explain the Bible to me for so long because I do think it's interesting, but I'm not at all interested in reading it on my own.
That's
and I want somebody to explain it in the simplest of terms, which you're doing a great job at. So thank you.
You're welcome. I'm here for you. And I'm so stoked to just keep working our way through.
QQ. Does the Noah's Ark come like soon?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll get there. Yep. Noah's Ark is in Genesis too.
Okay.
So.
I was like, I feel like after he makes all the animals, pretty soon a big flood comes.
Yeah.
I know the Bible's so good, dude.
You got this. Yeah. There's a big theme of punishment in the beginning of the Bible. Really throughout the Old Testament, but like the beginning, it gets
a lot of punishy.
God gets real mad at people. A lot of punishments.
You know what, though? If we were created in God's image, like maybe I can buy that because I'm fucking pissed too. And he sounds angry. Does he become like a loving, benevolent dude at some point?
He does. In the New Testament.
Because in the Old Testament, like homie should go to like some anger management classes or something.
Therapy. Yeah. But then he, settles down a little bit. I mean, he loves us enough that he
died for our sins on the cross, right?
Yeah. He made a baby with a virgin and sent that baby to die. But also that baby is him. Because of the Holy Trinity. So it's a whole...
Okay, obviously we'll get into that, but he's...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, right, because God made the baby, and he was like, you gotta go die now for everybody. So he, like, made this baby, and then was like, and I'm gonna murder you.
Yeah. And also God is the baby because the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit are the three components of God, and they just are all...
Well, now you just mind-fucked me for the rest of the day. Like, I thought I had things kind of figured out, and now I need another cup of coffee. Because what? I hope that you enjoyed the shit out of Ash and Michelle Do the Bible as much as we did. Patrons, hope you're excited for the new segment. And non-patrons, hopefully this really tickled your butt and you want to sign up. Patreon.com/TSFU.
So Cain, being a farmer, probably used a scythe, and scythes at the time were probably made from jawbones. And I guess the way that the text can be interpreted is that not just did Cain use a scythe made from a jawbone, no, that motherfucker bit his brother to death.
That is so fucked up. It's fucked up. So fucked up. It is just so damn fucked up. That's fucked up.
I think that's Star Wars, which has nothing to do with the Bible. So, but I don't know. 6.
No.
I'm excited. I'm caffeinated. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. Is that so fucked up? What? Fuck.
I was going to say, what song does have to do with the Bible?
What?
Let's get biblical, biblical. I want to get biblical. Get into the Bible, yeah. Let me hear your Jesus talk. Your Jesus talk. Let me hear your Jesus talk. That song has to do with the Bible.
That does have to do with the Bible. If you are a patron and you read the title of the show that you're about to watch, you know that you're going to fucking listen to. To be fair, we put up the video last time, so we didn't tell people our names. They fucking know, but like, it's That So Fucked Up, the podcast about cults, murder, and other generally fucked up stuff, and we're your hosts. I'm Ashley Richards.
And I'm Michelle Mosher.
You know what this is, though. This is Ash and Michelle Do the Bible. Round 2. I'm giddy as fuck, because you know this is my jam. So weird that, like, this is, like, my new favorite thing, is learning about the Bible. But you teach about it in a fun way. It's not like I would fucking go sign up for a Bible study and be like, yeah, Thursday night Bible study. study.
I mean, that's like me doing notes. I've read parts of the Bible more in the last 2 months than I have in a decade. So honestly, it's you and me both.
Are you having a great time?
Like, kind of. It's kind of fun to like sit down and like rewrite the Bible, because you're basically getting like a new translation of the Bible. And so it's just like the new fucked up translation.
Listen, oh my God, I just realized we fucking officially just became a cult. You are taking the Bible, taking your interpretation and feeding it to our listeners. I always say like, what's the deal?
What's the deal with the Bible?
What's the deal with priests and all those people? Because like they're just reading the Bible, right? And then they're taking their interpretation and teaching that to their flock. So I think we just officially became a real cult. Like we had been joking before, and now I think it's real.
And now it's real. I'm okay with it.
So you've been reading like the Bible.
Yeah.
And then taking notes. You're not reading like the Bible for idiots or dummies.
No, I'm reading the whole ass King James Bible with these and thous.
Yeah, it's the writing is so small.
Well, I'm reading it on Kindle, so I can make it as big as I want. What a time to be alive.
Okay, because like just the fact that the writing is so small would be a deterrent for me immediately.
And the paper is so thin. How do they even do it? How do they do it? How do they get the paper that thin?
And why? Why is it so thin though? Is the printers, they're cutting on costs?
It would be a really thick book.
It would be super thick. That's what she said.
It would be annoying to carry, but when the paper is so thin, you can carry it everywhere with you as the Lord intended.
Which is what we need.
Which is what we need. Pocket Bible. I mean, those exist.
Pocket Bible is where it has the most important stories.
Yes.
Are you going to tell me a super important story today?
I am, Ashley. Today I'm going to tell you about the Bible's first murder. Murder. And that time that God said, fuck it, and bailed and destroyed the whole earth with water.
Did he make lemonade out of lemons?
I love you.
Oh, wait. No, fuck. I did it backwards. Hi, I'm Kunu.
When life gives you lemons, you say fuck lemons and bail.
If you don't know what we're talking about, get your life together and go watch Forgetting Sarah Marshall like yesterday.
Yeah.
That movie got me through so many breakups. So many.
It's the best movie.
Okay, I've actually only had a couple breakups, but like I've had
But it got you through those ones.
a lot of times where I had like unrequited love.
And it will also get you through that.
And that's sad too, you know?
Sometimes that's the saddest because that's the relationship you spun up in your head. So you never had a chance for it to go bad because all you were doing was dreaming about how good it was. And then all of a sudden, it's like you get broken up with before you even had a chance. And you're like, but don't you see what we could have been?
And then that's when they want you.
Yeah. So again, here's the magical biblical disclaimer that I am not a biblical scholar. I am not a theologian and I am not a priest or a pastor. However, I was in an evangelical Christian cult for 9 years and have read the Bible cover to cover. So I have a pretty decent knowledge. And, but because the Bible is very open to interpretation, there may be things that I say that are parts of my interpretation or the things that I was taught in church throughout my life that may be different than the teachings of other churches and organizations. So that's, I think, just a good disclaimer to have at the top that like, if I say something and you're like, well, that's not it. That's just because we've been taught differently and because there are like a million translations of the Bible out there. But
I think it's also good to let people know that if they don't like what you say, they can blame our research assistant, Ryan, who has also been working hard on this segment. Ryan grew up Catholic, so they are combining their knowledge of the Bible and all that comes with it. So
wow, they can blame him.
We love you, Ryan. He's editing
that is
this.
The most
we love you, Ryan.
Throw Ryan under the bus.
He's gonna think it's funny. He'll think it's funny.
He will. Well, so what's nice about that is that I bring the like King James and Protestant versions, and then Ryan's super immersed in the Catholic and some of the what they call apocryphal texts, which are the ones that are not included in the real Bible. Oh God, I shouldn't say real Bible. I'm sorry. What's not included in like the published and approved, signed off on Bible.
Oh, so Ryan is somewhat in like a cult.
Yeah, he's kind of a scholar.
They're doing their own offshoot thing.
Yeah,
Ryan,
Catholics.
Sketch.
The Protestants did their own offshoot thing, so actually the Catholics were more the OGs. I'm like, we were the ones that were like, you know what? You know, Catholics, fuck you. Yeah, I think Protestantism started. So I know that Martin Luther started the Lutheran Church because, well, you know what? We don't have to go into church history.
Martin Luther King Jr., that one?
No.
I've never heard him just referred to as Martin Luther. Oh, you know, old ML, like it's usually MLK.
This was just a whole different guy, a white man, I'm pretty sure in Germany.
Oh.
A long, long time ago. Very different guy. That's why I said no.
I feel
was
so
like, no, it's
stupid. I'm so glad only the patrons are hearing.
Yeah, it's not the same. So yeah, Martin Luther, he started one part of Protestantism, but I think there's a whole nother English thing with a king who wanted to get divorced and the Catholic Church wouldn't give him a divorce. So he started a different part of Protestantism. Dude, the church splits off for a lot of crazy reasons.
They're like, we don't like that one thing you're doing. So we're going to go start just like our whole own jam.
Yeah, literally that. So we're going to pick up in Genesis chapter 4. So as you probably remember from last time, Adam and Eve, they ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. It was all that bitch Eve's fault for, wanting to know things.
Eve's fault.
All Eve's fault.
Lilith was there.
Lilith was there. She didn't want to do missionary, so she opted instead to become a screeching demon who has 100 children die every day. Adam and Eve are out wandering the desert, working really hard for food, and Eve's having the worst childbirth.
Wait, they're in the desert? I didn't even realize.
Yeah, because they got kicked out of the garden.
Now they're wandering the desert.
Wandering the desert. Pretty terrible.
Yuck.
But you know what? It's not so terrible that they've forgotten about banging it out, because they do that. And we pick up in Genesis 4.
Are they even married? Like, is that even legal? The fuck?
They're literally the only two people that exist.
Sex before marriage is a fucking sin, is it not? Who told us that? I think God, right?
Wow, that's true.
So did God marry Adam and Eve before they fucked, or is he just a total hypocrite? See, that's what Ashley does. She brings the real question.
The questions everyone's asking. The questions no one has ever asked. She brings them.
But now they want to know.
Yeah. So they have two kids, Cain and Abel. And Abel is a shepherd, and Cain is a husbandman, or a tiller of the ground, or a farmer.
A husbandman was the first name for farmer.
Catholic Bible term for farmer.
Catholic, 6 kids, Catholic. Sorry, that's from it's a Jim Gaffigan joke. But he always makes fun of his Catholic upbringing, and he's like, 6 kids, Catholic.
That's right. Yes, that's right.
Okay, so we got a couple brothers here.
Couple brothers, farmer and a shepherd, and they both decide they're going to bring, offerings to God, as you do. And so Abel brings some firstlings of his flock. So he's bringing some little bibba sheeps
To God?
to God. Yeah,
Where's God, though? Where is he?
he's everywhere.
Is he Sky Daddy?
He's with you right now.
He's,
In your room.
but in this version,
Yeah, he's like Sky Daddy. Yeah, he's just kind of like all around.
he's like a white man sitting in the sky, right?
Basically, I mean,
Pretty much on a throne.
that's like the paintings.
Right. Okay.
And Cain brings him some of his yieldings from his crop. And so basically God looks at the offerings and is like, Abel, your offering is sick and I love it. Thank you. Cain could have done a better job with it. Not Soup's impressed by you.
Stop it. I just almost spit my fucking coffee out. I was like, stop talking.
Nope, I'm going to keep going.
This gift is legit. Loving it.
Loving this. You know me. You get me. You understand. Cain, I'm not super into this. Do you have a gift receipt for this?
And that was the vegetables or the flock?
And that was the vegetables. It was his crops.
God's not a vegetarian. Hold on, I just gotta say, shout out to River, because they started fucking just researching this story on their own. So I do know a little bit, which I'm slightly disappointed in. I'm not gonna lie. But I do know a little bit, but I don't know how it gets there at all. So I'm excited.
Now we're gonna get there. So yeah, the Bible literally, the line is, God has no respect for Cain's offering. And I just kept thinking, who's that comedian Rodney Dangerfield who's like, I can't get no respect. But I've never heard Rodney Dangerfield. I've only heard Michael Scott doing Rodney Dangerfield. So he's like, yeah, I don't get no respect. And my wife doesn't give me any respect. And Cain just leaves and he's like, yeah, I can't get no respect. God doesn't give me any respect for my offerings. And so
hold on, now I just have to look that up really quick because
we can't get no respect. That's fair.
Yeah, it's Rodney Dangerfield. You're right.
Rodney Dangerfield.
Can't get no respect.
Yeah. Can't get no respect.
So he is essentially God. We could insert Rodney Dangerfield as God in this story.
No, Rodney Dangerfield is Cain because it says God had no respect for Cain's offering.
Oh, okay. Oh, so Cain can't get no respect.
Cain can't get no respect.
Oh, okay.
He's bringing his best fruits and veg, and God's like, it's fine.
Does he get mad? Is he upset about this? He's like, I don't get any respect,
so
and it's
upset.
not cool.
It's not cool. Yeah, he's upset, and then God, to add insult to injury, he's like, dude, why are you mad? You didn't bring me as good of an offering. Sounds a lot like a you problem, basically. And
I really hope that this verbatim is how all of this happened. I hope that this is how everyone spoke to each other.
He's like, this sounds a lot like a you problem, not a me problem. Abel gets me and he gets it and you don't, but like figure it out. And so, Cain does what every responsible child does when they're jealous of their sibling and is like, I'm gonna fucking kill this guy.
Totally.
So lures him out to the field and murders him. And murder. So this is, yes, where you mentioned River. This is what River was talking about, patrons in the, I think it was in the Only Patrons channel in the Discord, right?
Yeah.
So join the Discord if you want to read that.
You guys, if you're not in that, come on. What are you doing? Join. It's so fun.
What are you doing? You're a patron. Join it. The Only Patron channel is poppin'.
It is. It's where all the fucking hot tea gets spilled. For real, though.
It's true. The hottest of teas. You remember the Lilith story, how the Lilith story wasn't part of the like Christian and Catholic Bibles. It was in kind of these other texts that we had to reference.
Okay, sure. There's like 80 books in that bitch, Michelle. I can't keep track. Actually, listen, I know it's 66. I know that. Go me.
Go you.
But Lilith is not in any of those 66 books. You had to go fucking...
You had to dig deep for that one. And we also have to dig deep for Cain's jawbone. So it's in a book that is called the Book of Enoch, which is not part of the, what we call the canonized Bible. It's basically not one of the books that like all those white men agreed, yeah, we want to put this in there.
This is it. Yeah. Hold on. Cain's Rodney?
Yep. Cain's Rodney. Cain can't get no respect. He murders Abel.
Okay. Because he can't get no respect.
Because he can't get no respect. And he's pretty upset about it.
That's going to get him in God's favor, right?
Okay, look, on one hand, God being kind of a dick about this. On the
he's
other
kind
hand...
of into smiting people, though. So, like, maybe...
Yeah. It's okay, because we're going to get to a place where he's not smiting so much. But if everyone listened to the Kai episode, that's a very good reference to what Jet says when he's like, smite them, oh, smitey one.
Smite them, oh smitey one.
The smitiest one. So yeah, there's this Jewish apocryphal text where it says that...
Okay, so now we're in the Jewish Bible.
Yeah.
Hold on, isn't the Jewish Bible just the fucking Old Testament?
Yeah, but then there are other parts of it. There are other things that aren't in the canonized Bible because this group of white men got together and said, this is what is true and these other ones not so much. It's a whole thing.
Okay, hold on. Sorry, I just have to ask. Does the Christian or Catholic or canonized, whatever, does this Bible talk about the Jews wandering through the desert for 40 years?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's an accepted part of the whole story.
Yes.
Okay.
Jews have had it rough. Like
Yeah.
Jewish listeners,
Sorry, guys.
you've had it rough since like the way back when
From the
times.
start, yeah. You're wandering through the desert for years. Jesus.
Literally.
Ugh.
Actually, not literally, because Jews don't believe that he's the Messiah. So
Was he leading them in this version? Was Jesus leading them through the desert? They were just wandering.
Jesus was way later. Moses was your guy then.
Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm gonna sorry. Zip it.
That's okay. You know what? But let's bring it back to Cain and Abel. So basically, what the Book of Enoch hypothesizes or says is that
Sorry, I'm sweating. I'm sweating so much. Like, why am I sweating so much?
the Bible just really gets you hot and bothered.
No, it does. I think I get excited. Okay.
So in this book, basically, the idea is that, well, hey, he murdered him, but like they didn't really have like metal and like swords and stuff. So Cain, being a farmer, probably used a scythe, and scythes at the time were probably made from jawbones. And I guess the way that the text can be interpreted is that not just did Cain use a scythe made from a jawbone, no, that motherfucker bit his brother to death. Just cannibal.
Shout out River. River fucking brought that in, huh?
Yes. So thank you, River. Because
Yes.
I had not been versed.
So wait, hold on.
in
He
that.
didn't beat him to death with the fucking scythe. He bit him. He didn't beat him to death. He bit him to death.
According to this non-canonized, not part of our traditional accepted Bible text, it's like, yeah, no, he like bit him and like ate him.
I mean, it's from some sort of biblical text, right? Just
It's from a text. Someone wrote it down.
be like, yeah, no, somebody wrote it down. So where's the scribe? Where's the scribe? I'm going to make a shirt.
All this shit is just men writing stuff down. Where's the scribe? Make that merch. Where's the scribe? Where's the scribe?
We have so many merch ideas.
Can it be like The Office where he's like, where are the turtles? But it's Michael screaming, where is the scribe?
Yes, 100% that can and will be that.
Yes. I guess there are churches in Ethiopia who accept this book as being what we call canonical, or basically like an accepted text as part of the Bible. They believe, or that, I don't want to say they believe because like I don't know them, but that there are teachings. I don't know them personally, so like I don't want to say anything. I haven't been there. I don't know on like a personal level, but there are teachings that that cannibals are descendants of Cain, because like
Cain-abels. I mean, it makes sense.
it does. So like maybe Armie Hammer and his family. But yeah, okay. So, long story short, however he did it, Cain murders Abel, and God shows up and God goes, hey, Cain, where's Abel? And I get the vibe that this is very much in that voice where, your parent knows that you did something wrong. You've got like cookie crumbs on your face and they're like, where are those dozen cookies I just baked?
Right.
And you've got like
they're
chocolate
seeing
smeared.
if you'll fucking tell the truth or not. It's a test.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
He's a testing motherfucker, huh? God.
Loves the whole
a test.
time. Loves a test. So that'll be a theme.
Oh.
And this is where the famous line, I know not, am I my brother's keeper? Which is basically the biblical version of, wasn't my turn to watch him.
Wait, there's a movie called My Sister's Keeper.
There is. And it was certainly a reference to this text.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm not the fucking babysitter. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. Wasn't my turn to watch him.
Right.
And
hold on. How old is this Abel when he gets murdered? Do we know?
I don't know if we know, but probably young. I mean, people were young then.
Yeah, they didn't live long.
People were young back then. Now people are older.
They didn't. Thousands of years later, people have grown to be older.
Gotten older. But back then they were young. They got old though. And so God's like, well, that's pretty weird, Cain, because like I can hear Abel's blood calling to me from the ground. So
okay, that's weird too.
Yeah, also weird, but yeah, it's a thing. God says, hey, you're punished now because me and Abel, we were good and you murdered him and then you lied about it. So I'm going to curse the land so that you, a farmer, can't harvest any food and you're just going to be a vagabond and a fugitive. You're basically just going to like wander around, die of starvation.
The desert.
And it's going to suck for you.
So he's wandering around a different part of the desert than Adam and Eve, though? Like he's like split
he's Adam
off
and Eve's
from
kid.
the fam.
So yeah, they're all like kind of there together. Yeah.
Okay, they're all wandering the desert, cursed together. Got it.
Yeah. Fucking sucks out there.
I don't want to live in a desert. Jesus Christ. Ugh.
And so Cain goes, oh, the punishment is too much for me to bear, which I get it. Sounds shitty.
You know what? Can we stop calling people pussies and call them ball sacks instead? Because Betty White made an amazing point one time that we call people pussies for being like not brave, but like pussies fucking take a beating. They pop kids out. Like that shit is strong. Stop equating pussy to weak. Like ball sacks, scrotums, you just tap that shit and like they're down. I would like to put out a vote to change the vernacular. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Do you vote yes?
Is this just a vote of two?
Are you a yay?
I'm a yay, but I'm not a yay.
I would like the listeners to know, and sometimes they do tell us things now, occasionally.
I know,
you guys.
I love it. It's catching on.
I love how Tony Googled something for us the other. Does urine have DNA? And she's just like, screenshot. Here, you guys. Yes, small traces. You guys listen to the Kai episode 126 if you haven't yet. Back to you, God.
Back to nice. All right. So not only is Cain upset because that punishment sounds awful, but he's also upset because he's going, all right, dude, if I'm just like wandering around cursed and I can't even feed myself, people are going to kill me. Like I am just out
here.
What
people?
That's my question, because right now it should just be him,
people?
Adam and Eve. There's no other people.
See,
I guess
this
Lilith
isn't adding up. That's what upsets me about some of this stuff.
Where's the scribe?
And that doesn't add up. Who are the people?
Yeah, who are the people?
Who is he afraid of?
We don't look. Ashley, you got to put that in the shelf for me because we don't know. We don't know.
Put it on the shelf.
I'm just telling you what the
Put
Bible says.
Put it on the shelfies.
Put it on the shelf. Mm-hmm. And so God goes, look, I get it. I see why you're worried. So I'm going to put a mark on you so that people will know that if they fuck with you, they're going to get fucked with by God. Here's an interesting thing though, and this is so fucked up. There are people out there, and you can, if you Google this, you will get so many sites. There are people out there who believe that when it says that God set a mark upon Cain, which is how the Bible phrases it.
And it was good.
Well, I mean, for him, I guess, because it means he won't get murdered. But there are people out there who interpret that to mean that God made Cain black and that this was the first black person. And it is the most fucked up thing of people misinterpreting the Bible that like I've ever heard.
That's similar to the Mormon Bible, right?
Yes.
They're like, that was Satan. And he was like, I don't want to be a part of your party, God. And then God was like, well, I like this other guy, your brother. It was like the same story. They just made it in space.
Yes. Yeah. And so it has been twisted and misinterpreted by white supremacists as like justification for all kinds of shitty things. And
white supremacists can lick my fucking balls.
It's so fucked up. Literally.
Like, are you kidding me?
I wish.
Like, are you kidding me?
So, yep. If they're doing that, they're fucking idiots because it's a mark of protection. And you're like, oh, see, God marked Cain and that's black people. Like,
yeah. So wouldn't that mean that like black people are
in theory protected? But
right.
Dude, I don't don't know. It's like a rabbit hole I don't even want to venture down because it doesn't take anyone to a good place.
Okay, right.
But just so you know, there's an incredibly fucked up piece of the Bible that's not actually the Bible's fault, just like shitty people's fault.
You know, that's, I think, kind of my main thing with the Bible is like, besides where it's described, it's like, this is all just people's fucking opinions. It depends on what church you go to. Like that one fucking pastor or father or rabbi or cantor or whatever the fuck these people are called. Like they all have different fucking opinions as to what that one line means. So like to me, it's like, this is a big ass fucking game of telephone that everybody's putting a lot of stock into, right?
Yes, you are.
And you guys, if you're Christian, Catholic, if you're religious and the Bible's your jam, I'm not putting you down. I'm just questioning what the fuck's going on here, right?
100%. Okay, so we're going to do some skipping in time here because Cain goes out, deals with this punishment. He has babies. Those babies have babies. Those babies have babies. Mind you, all these babies are living a really long time, like hundreds of years.
Although life expectancy back then was like 20 years.
Well, probably, but like in the Bible, it was hundreds. So all these Babels. All these babies have lots of babies. Oh, by the way, there's also this line in the Bible. If anyone's an Avenged Sevenfold fan, there's a line in the Bible where they say that anyone who tries to avenge Cain will be avenged sevenfold. And that is where the band Avenged Sevenfold got their name, was like, if you murder Cain, God will murder you sevenfold.
I was like, isn't that a fucking DC movie? That's the Avengers.
That's the Avengers. Ryan, I'm sorry that Ashley just said that.
Is it not DC? What's Avengers?
It's Marvel. It's okay.
Like, how the fuck am I supposed to know the difference? Seriously.
Yes.
You're like, I don't know, like to tune into media like once in a while, actually.
Every once in a while. But yeah, so everyone's having babies. Adam and Eve have another baby. His name is Seth. Seth has babies who have babies who have babies who have
Hold
babies.
on. I'm sorry. His name is Seth.
Seth is a biblical name. Little did you know.
No, I did not know. And I've never heard of Seth.
Oh, well.
Actually, though, you know what? I didn't hear of Cain and Abel until like a week ago when River talked about it in the Discord.
Yep. So yeah, everyone's fucking, everyone's living long as fuck. And then all of a sudden, one day, God looks down and he's just like, fuck, these people are awful. I hate them.
What have I done?
What have I done? Yeah. So first he says, you know what? Like nobody's living over 120 from now on. Like fucking, yep, no more. Which is funny because like the oldest person alive died in 1875 and they were 122. So guess that lasted a long time, God. Also, there's this line in the Bible that says there were giants in the earth in those days. And some churches, like my own, were like, see, the Bible does have dinosaurs.
Oh, okay. I was like, Jolly Green Giant.
So like, if you take it to mean that the giants in those days are dinosaurs, that means that according to the Bible, people and dinosaurs were just hanging out on the earth in the same time.
Well, I mean, at least those interpretations include dinosaurs, because I think it's pretty silly to try to deny their existence, considering the bones and evidence we have found.
Yes, and all that. And yeah, some people just think it means that like there were just really big people back then. Like superhumans or something, you know, but I don't know that the fossil record supports that. So anyway, God keeps looking down and he's like, what the fuck? People are the worst. Why did I even make them? And he sees Noah and Noah's family and he's like, stuff like them. Like Noah's chill. Him and his kids.
They're doing good.
Yeah, but everyone else fucked. And he's like, you know what? I'm just going to flood the world and just get this done.
Just kill them all.
Yeah. So
he's pretty fucking intense, this dude.
Oh yeah. God's real violent in the Old Testament.
Are there churches where he's like cool and nice?
Once you get to the New Testament, he gets nicer.
Okay.
It's like when you grow up and your dad is like real intense, but then like he gets older and kind of softens up a little
bit. You guys
bit.
become friends, kind of.
Yeah. And you're like, and you and then he looks at you one day and he goes, you know, I'm sorry I was so hard on you when you were a kid. It's like that.
Did that happen to you?
No, but it's
curious.
People.
I'm like, I don't feel like Bob Mosher was a harsh man. I don't know.
No,
it's not
he had a temper a little bit when I was a kid, but no, he's pretty sweet.
But now he's older and has chilled
and softened up.
You get too tired to be mad about things.
You do. So God reaches out to Noah and he's like, hey Noah, you're gonna want to build a boat, like a big one, like pretty big. But like then he talks about how big the boat is, and it's 300 cubits. Ashley, do you know how big a cubit is?
Is that a fucking unit of measurement that is used today?
No, not so much today. It's the length of your elbow to your fingertip.
Okay, I think all of us have different lengths of those, so.
Yeah, but that's a cubit. Because like, how else were they measuring? What's a standard measurement there? Like,
So it's 300 cubits.
yeah, that doesn't feel long enough to me.
And then he has to take every animal in the world and have two of them
And some of them,
in that boat? No, not buying it.
7.
7.
7. Some animals are 7. Like 7 get clean animals.
Wait, why would there need to be 7 of one kind?
We don't know. Ashley, that's a shelf question.
But also, they wouldn't all fit, Michelle. That's what is maddening.
In a 300 cubit length boat? Agreed.
Do all the animals that exist today, did they exist then? Like,
We don't know. I mean,
did he have to bring fish? No, those probably came in the water
yeah, so that's interesting.
with the flood.
Yeah, this boat 300 cubits long, which is just elbow to fingertip.
A forearm.
Yep, you're basically your forearm in your hand,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't seem big enough. Also, God's like, put a window in there. Do something nice for yourself.
A window? Yeah. Well,
Yeah, because like,
that's a good call. You don't want to be stuck with a bunch of animals without any fresh air.
also like when you think about this, do you think about the animals talking? Like, do you think about them having like personalities and being able to like interact?
No.
Because like that's how I picture it, and I think it's from being a kid and watching like Bible cartoons. I just picture the animals like, hello, Mrs. Pig. Are we getting on the boat today? Oh, taking a little adventure.
I do often wonder, though, when I see animals, like, what are you thinking?
Oh, I always wonder that. Like Mylish is a very expressive face, and I'm like,
What is happening in that brain of yours? Yeah.
what is happening in that tiny peanut of a brain? Who knows?
Mean. She wouldn't like that.
She's a dog. She doesn't even know.
All right.
So God's like, so get ready. It's raining for 40 days and 40 nights. And 40, fun fact, is a number of transformation in the Bible. So that's why you see like it rained for 40 days and 40 nights. The Israelites wandered the desert for 40 years. Jesus spent 40 days being persecuted in the desert, or being like going through tribulations in the desert. Like,
Okay. 40.
because it's when you see 40 in the Bible, it represents like, transformations and things.
Okay.
7 is also a big number in the Bible because 7 is like the holy number, the Lord's number. On the 7th day he rested.
Isn't it funny then that like lucky number 7? It's like so weird to see how steeped in Christianity this whole country is, and you don't even know it. Like, don't you think lucky number 7 is lucky number 7 because of the fucking
Probably.
Bible? Now that you think about it,
Probably. For a country founded on religious freedom, it was really just about being the religious freedom to be a Protestant.
it's like, this is what we want to do. Because they did like kill a bunch of Mormons because they're like, I know that we said we were going to come here and all do what we want, except we're going to do what we want and murder you guys because we're not really down with what you're doing. I wasn't down with what they're doing either, though.
No, but I didn't want to murder them.
No, I didn't want to massacre anyone.
No, I try not to do that.
Episode 101, History of Mormonism, Fundamentalist Mormonism, Murder of Brenda and Erica. God, if I fucked that up, my bad. But Lafferty's.
Yeah.
Crazy episode.
And episode 102, the FLDS. So they get in a boat. Oh, yeah. Also, Noah's 600 years old at this time. So there's that.
Get out. I thought nobody got to live past 120.
I think he was already living at that point. So I think he got like, quote unquote,
He got grandfathered in.
Hey, because old people. In a boat about the length of a football field, Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, their wives, and fucking 2 to 7 of every animal known to man get on a boat. And here's what I love. The water went up 15 cubits. So it rained for 40 days and 40 nights so that the water was raised 15 cubits. Ashley, that doesn't seem that high.
That's not that much.
That doesn't seem like enough to kill everything.
Everybody. No. See, this part of the story is I'm not buying it.
Questionable. Yeah. But like 15 cubits was apparently enough
To flood the world.
And the quote in the Bible is, all in whose nostrils was the breath of life of all that was in the dry land died. AKA, if you breathe air and you're on dry land, you die. So apparently like the fish were fine. And the sharks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've been around forever.
Yeah, they're dinosaurs. But maybe this is why, like, sharks are scary and violent. I mean, they're not violent. I know, shark loving listeners, but like, because they were from the before
Okay, but they do
times.
just straight up eat people sometimes. That's a
They
fucking
do.
fact, okay? Can we
They
not
are
all just agree
sometimes
on that?
violent.
Because I almost freaked
Yes, we
out
can.
during an episode where
I
it's
know.
like, I was like, no, I know that they're not naturally like just going out fucking like looking to
And
eat
also
people,
they
but
eat
they
people.
do. They do.
They do.
Okay.
They
Thank
do.
you.
And I also love this line. It was, and every living substance was destroyed, which upon the face of the ground, both man and cattle, and the creeping things. The creeping things. The Bible is like, we don't know what to call everything else. They're just like, the creeping things. Which like, yeah, also, yes. So it rains for 40 days and 40 nights. Waters hang around for 150 days. And then God goes, oh shit, Noah. Because he just kind of like forgot for a minute. The line in the Bible says, and God remembered Noah. And I just in my head pictured that as God like, all right, fucking flooded the earth. Everyone's dead. It's great. Oh shit, Noah. Sorry, man. So God starts getting rid of the water. It takes 3 months for even the tops of the mountains to show up, you know, because at 15 cubits, really, Everest just fucking covered by 15 of these. Noah starts sending some birds out and he's like, hey birds, go see if the water's gone yet. And the birds come back and they're like, no, it's still there. He's like, all right, let's chill for 7 more days, go out. And then finally, like one of the birds, the dove, doesn't come back. So he's like sick. It must be land now. Mm-hmm. So after months on a boat, they can finally get off because, okay, this started in Noah's 600th year in the 2nd month, and they're able to get out on his 601st year in the 2nd month. So him, his wife, his 3 sons' wives, and every animal known to man, 2 to 7 of them, were sitting on a boat for a year.
A year. Woof.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they get off the boat and Noah immediately builds an altar and burns an offering, you know, as you do.
What was the offering? Like a person or?
No, especially because the only people are his family.
Fucking dark, man, you know?
Yeah. So they get off the boat, they burn an offering.
Said, and then he had to offer up one of his sons, I wouldn't be surprised because doesn't that fucking happen?
Oh, that
later?
happens. Yeah. We'll talk about one of those later.
Yeah,
so that happens. And then God comes to Noah and he goes, look, man, I am so sorry. That wasn't cool. I'm not going to do it again.
So he's not always a total dick. Once in a while, he says, hey, I fucked up and I'm going to take responsibility for that.
Yeah, I'm going to own that. Yeah, the line is, never again will I curse the ground, neither will I again smite anymore everything living as I have done.
Okay, so hold on. God just has a fucking total change of heart of his whole fucking like plan and idea of the world. Like after Noah, he's like, you know what? I've kind of been a dick. I've done some soul searching and it's not that cool to like
kill every living thing. It's like when you know what you did was really bad, you spell it out like word for word. You're like, I will never again take all of your favorite t-shirts and pour bleach on them and light them on fire. Like you have to be like real specific about the shit you did because you know it's real bad.
Is that the line from an emo song?
No, it's just like a thing I thought of that would be really bad that you could do that you'd have to apologize for. That might be a little crazy. All right. So then God tells Noah and his family to go repopulate. But let's think about this, Ashley. This makes sense initially, right? It's like dudes and their wives go repopulate. Mm-hmm. Sick. Mm-hmm. Cool. Done. What happens with the next generation though that are all cousins?
Oh, they're like inbreeding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that.
So the world is repopulated via inbreeding.
Yeah. Like God couldn't have put like 2 families in the boat? No, apparently not.
Well, all the inbreeding would like explain how intelligent the entire human race seems to be together.
Yeah, us included. We are in there. We're in that.
No, I'm including us. Like, I'm pretty sure humans are going to fucking extinct ourselves.
Absolutely, we will. So in this part of the Bible, God's like, cool, all the animals are going to be afraid of you. Also, all the animals are meat that you can eat.
Wait, why are all the animals afraid?
I don't know. God just tells Noah that's how it's going to be. And also, this is where God tells Noah, hey, like, don't eat each other, though. So God tells us not to be cannibals.
That's, if he doesn't say that, we wouldn't know.
I mean, maybe.
We would just be fucking eating each other left and right.
Eating each other. Yeah, which would have been really inconvenient when there are, I don't know, 8 people on the planet at this point.
Like, not that many. And they're your fucking cousins, too. They're who you're also supposed to fuck. It's like, do I fuck you or eat you? And you have no idea.
And God's like, you fuck them. Don't eat them, but you fuck them.
Eat the animals.
Yeah. And then again, God's like, look, fuck it. I am so sorry. I know what I did wasn't cool. I promise I'm not going to flood the earth again. And you know what? Here's how you and I are both going to remember this promise. Like, so I don't forget. Whenever you see a rainbow, that's me promising I won't flood the earth again.
Wait, what if he sees a double rainbow, though?
Then he's double not going to flood it. Unless it's double negative, and then he has to flood it.
Oh my God.
Who knows? What does it mean?
What does it mean?
They're all out there just like fucking and eating animals. And
as you will.
As you will. And here's where we're going to wrap up our story with one last little smattering
I hate
of
wrapping up the story.
I know, but we
tell
got
me
more
the whole
coming
Bible
next time.
today.
Oh God. 18 hours later, we're halfway through. So Noah discovers that if you take grapes and grow them, you can make them into wine. So this is, I think, the first biblical account of someone getting wasted.
They're like, how do we get fucking wasted? Because existence is shit.
So he starts hitting the sauce a little bit. And one night he gets too drunk and goes to bed naked, as we all have. And, you remember?
Or in our genes. We're, one of the two.
Yeah. Well, we've all fallen asleep fully clothed.
Yeah.
But no, Noah gets too drunk, takes off all his clothes, and just like falls asleep on top of the covers. And so Noah's youngest son, whose name is Ham.
I'm sorry, does Noah's fucking wife have a name? Or is she just Noah's wife?
I don't know if we ever get her name. It's probably in there. I didn't write it down.
It's probably unimportant. Who the fuck? She's just a wife.
It's probably not important. They didn't make a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
Actually, it was funny. I noted this, but I didn't mention it because we were deep in the story. But the Bible talks about the sons of God and let me find it. Where was it? I was like, this will probably annoy. The sons of God saw the daughters of man. So like the sons are sons of God, but the daughters are daughters of man. And then they said they were fair, and they took them wives of which they chose. Which is like these sons of God got to go around and be like, that one pretty. She's my wife.
And
now.
it was good.
And it was good. But Noah discovers that grapes turn into wine, gets wasted, falls asleep naked on top of his bed. His youngest son, Ham, goes in and is like, fucking dad, naked.
Jeez. Beats him to death.
Beat him to death. He's naked. Let's kill him.
Seems like a popular thing.
So he goes out to his brothers and he's like, hey, brothers, dad fell asleep, naked, drunk again. Will you guys just like come in and help me cover him up so that it's not weird for all of us that his junk is just out there? And
he can't just throw a blanket over the fucking dad on his own. Not. It's got to be a group fucking effort.
Maybe blankets were heavier then. So I don't know. So they all grab the blanket and go to cover him up. The two older brothers know what they're walking into, so they're looking away. They're averting their eyes, but they're like, all right, we're not gonna look. We're just gonna throw a blankie on him. So they throw the blankie on him. Noah wakes up and like somehow he knows that Ham saw his downstairs mix up, and so he wakes up and is pissed. And he's like, look,
and he beats him to death.
Worse, he curses his family. So he
curses his whole family.
He curses Ham's family. So he's like, Ham, you saw me naked. I'm embarrassed and upset by this. So like your two older brothers, Shem and Japheth, they didn't look. So like I'm cursing your family and I'm raising their families up because they haven't seen my business. And that is the story of Noah.
Wait, so Noah has like God powers? He can curse people?
It's I curse you with my dying breath. It gives that energy.
Episode 48, you guys. It's my favorite fucking story of all time. Please, just for me, go listen to it because you're like, this isn't true. And it is. Yeah? Yes, Michelle?
That's Cain and Abel. And that's Noah and the Great Flood.
I want more.
Don't we all? The angels don't want to be bad house guests, so they tell Lot, don't worry, we're going to sleep outside in the streets. But the men in Sodom see the angels go to Lot's house, and they come up to Lot's house and they say, dude, who are these guys in your house? Bring them outside. We want to know them.
So they want to rape the angels.
They want to rape the angels. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's so fucked up, presents. That's so fucked up, presents. That's so fucked up, presents. That's so fucked up, presents.
Hello everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome back to Ash and Michelle Do the Bible, a very serious reading and take of the King James Bible and other Bibles, because there's a bunch of them.
So many Bibles. Yes, this is actually, it's just me reading the Bible word for word to you, slowly, peacefully.
No, somebody actually said, though, the other day that there's 73 books. Have you ever heard this?
We Googled it together, didn't we?
No, it's definitely 66, but I saw somebody say that there's 73, and I was wondering if they're counting, like, other Bibles or something.
So the Protestant Bible has 66 books. The Catholic Bible has 73 books.
Ah, okay.
So the Catholics have a little more.
Look, we learn something new every day here at Ash and Michelle Do the Bible. We learn so much.
That's what we're here to do. It's to learn and to educate everyone on the Bible.
And guess what? We're going to turn it into an audiobook. That's like definitely happening.
Amazing. It's going to be...
I mean, this content needs to be heard.
Yeah.
There are people like me who don't know the Bible and who are interested in knowing the Bible, perhaps to get closer to the Lord, or perhaps to just be like, where's the scribe? What is happening? Like me.
If this series brings anyone closer to the Lord, you know what? Good for you. I don't understand how it would, but
people be different, you know?
People do be different. Yeah, well, just who's to say?
So my partner told me this morning that I would probably be like a really good MLM creator, because I don't know if you saw, because I do things like constantly and randomly and while you're sleeping and while you're on vacation and everything.
All the times.
But I started a Facebook group that is literally just dedicated to our live shows. I said, like, you're welcome to add other true crime events if you know. But my co-host and our podcast are going to start putting on live true crime comedy events. In less than 12 hours, 73 people have joined.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Like, people are fucking interested in going to see true crime comedy. So listen, if you are in the Denver, Boulder, or just fucking Colorado area and you feel like driving, or even if you're in Arizona, Nikki, it's only 5 hours.
Oh, see, it's only 5 hours.
That's fucking nothing, dude.
It's next to nothing.
Come see us.
It'll be a great time.
We want to see you. We're going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be in dresses.
And you should see
It's
us.
going to be amazing.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Like pink candles, fucking housewifey, poofy dresses. It's going to be such a vibe.
Yes.
I can't even. I've actually been listening to 2 Chainz, It's a Vibe, because in my head, I keep going, dude, this is such a vibe. Every time I buy something.
I have actually heard that song before.
Yeah, it's pretty mainstream.
When would I listen to mainstream?
You know some hip hop.
I know,
Come on.
like early 2000s hip hop. If you play me,
I said a hip hop, hip it to the hip hop, and you don't stop
to the
bang bang boogie it ups up the boogie and the boogie beat. Now what you hear is not a test. I'm rocking to the beat. One of our editors, Gaytress, can do that whole fucking song, and she did it in the parking lot at Red Rocks, and it was amazing.
That makes my heart happy. The whole song I could rap is Eminem's Without Me. I've got that. I could probably do all of Ludacris, Move Bitch, Get Out the Way.
Yeah, dude, I've heard you fucking swing.
But again, it's because I have 1 decade of music.
Oh shit,
Shake that ass, mama, move it like a
ass.
gypsy. Yeah, it starts in like, I don't know, when did I start like really listening to music? Like anything 90s pop. Pretty much anything in the 90s through like 2017. I think 2017 is probably when my music taste froze.
You were just like, no more. Emo's not making good music anymore. Like, did they go in a bad direction as a genre, or?
It's just kind of stopped. It's kind of like how 80s hair metal just like stopped. You know, I mean, they're in like new,
right.
They're new bands making like similar music, but it's not the same.
You're like, sorry, but you're not taking back Sunday. Get the fuck out of my face.
Get the fuck out of my face.
And if you slit my throat with my last dying breath, I'd apologize for bleeding on your shirt.
There you go.
Nailed it.
Crushed it.
Should we get into the Bible?
I was going to say, well, speaking of none of that, do you want to hear about how God destroyed some more cities?
Not until you sing to me first.
So if you're ready, let's get biblical.
Biblical.
I wanna get biblical. Get into the Bible, yeah. Let me hear your Jesus talk.
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 Talk.
I always say that I'm going to actually like do it.
I feel like we were in sync that time.
We may have been on your end.
Like really? Not on your end?
No. Dude, the
Dude,
delay.
on my end, we were
perfect.
in perfect time. I guess we'll see what happens,
We'll see what
on
happens on the track.
On the track.
On the track.
I'm ready to get biblical
Let's get
and hear about God destroying more cities.
God just like loves to destroy things.
So I'm guessing we're still in Genesis.
We are so hard in Genesis. If it makes you feel better, after like Exodus, there's a lot of books to skip. Like there's a book literally called Numbers. I don't think anything good happens in Numbers.
What about Psalms? I don't feel like that doesn't sound too.
There are probably a couple fucked up Psalms, but
okay.
Yeah, but like nothing.
We are here for the fucked up stuff, you guys. There's stuff that happens in the Bible that's like not fucked up.
Yeah, we're gonna
but
skip
this
that.
isn't Bible study.
Yeah, the Bible.
We don't have time to do the full 66 books.
No. Also, I tried to combine the word podcast and Bible, and I said the Bible. Nope. I meant to say the podcast.
The Bible.
The Bible.
The Bibecast.
The Bibecast.
Bibecast.
Welcome to the Bibecast.
Oh, That's good too.
That's so fucked up the podcast.
Ash and Michelle Do the Bible is my favorite because it sounds like Romy and Michelle do high school reunion, even though that's not the name of this movie, you know?
Yeah, it's
I know, but it's got that like vibe.
Yeah. What is that riffing on?
Somebody and somebody do something.
Yeah, somebody and somebody definitely did something at some point.
You guys tell
us who
I
did
forgot
it.
where I got this name.
And what they did. What do they do? Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Okay, I love that song, but it's so fucking pervy.
I was talking about Kindergarten Cop. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Who is your daddy and what does he do?
We are always on such different pages. It's wild. I was thinking of that Bruce Springsteen song that's like, hey, little girl, is your daddy home? Did he go and leave you all alone?
I literally said the exact line from the movie. And you're like, I was thinking of something totally different. And it's this thing that just says the word daddy in it. And I was meant to just know. You're like, yeah, that song is so fucked up. I'm like, what song? You know, the song that says daddy.
But isn't hey, little girl, is your daddy home? Did he go and leave you all alone? Ooh, I got a bad desire.
It's horrific.
Ooh, I'm on fire. Yeah,
it's really upsetting.
A little creepy. Very catchy, though.
God, we could do a whole episode on fucked up music thing. But I digress.
Jesus, God, yeah, we could. Okay, give me the Bible. I need Jesus up in me so bad right now.
Yes, we got to get some Jesus in here. You need the Lord. And thankfully, I can bring it to you.
So bad.
So bad. All right. So as you might remember last time, God regretted making everyone. And so
he was like, kill them all.
Yeah.
I'm flooding this bitch.
Flooded the whole earth.
I'm flooding the whole earth with 13 cubits, which, reminder, a cubit is from your elbow to your fingertips. So I don't know, maybe that's like 2 feet. So he flooded the earth with 26 feet of water.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
How tall is Everest?
Bigger than that. I should remember. I know. Listeners, go back, listen to 115. Tell us how tall Everest is.
I feel like it's got to be at least a mile high.
Our city is a mile high. Okay, Mount Everest.
It's like, now we need to know.
It is 29,000 feet.
And he did 29 feet.
Yeah.
It would only take like 1,000 more times of water than he did too.
Just
you know what though?
More.
Hold on.
Oh, I'm holding.
I'm gonna get scientific on you for a
get
second.
Scientific. Drop some science on me.
You know how like the world's been different throughout time? Like there was Pangea. Bitch, what do you know about Pangea?
You don't know about Pangea.
But there was Pangea, and then like volcanoes and islands come from underwater.
That's true.
You know, like the Grand Canyon was made by water going through it, I think. Fuck me if I'm wrong. It's been ever changing. So maybe Mount Everest and like the big tall mountains didn't exist during this time.
That is very honestly, Ashley, do you want a career as an evangelical pastor? Because that sounds a lot like something I would have heard at church.
And you guys, when they said that the giants walked amongst us, they meant dinosaurs. So look, we can make science and religion coexist. See?
You're blowing
It's
my
beautiful.
mind right now. Yeah. So yeah, Noah and his family and 2 to 7 of every animal are on this boat. They survive the big flood. And now when we arrive back in biblical times, Noah and his family are repopulating the earth and everyone is speaking the same language. And as you said before, everyone's vibing. It's a vibe. Like,
Yes. What language are they speaking?
it's a question no one knows the answer to.
Yeah. I always wonder about like the origins of linguistic, though. I think it's fascinating.
Well, I'm going to tell you how new languages happened.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, everyone's vibing. Everyone's like, hey, we all speak the same language. Because remember, everyone is descended.
Wait, this is a whole city of incest kids, though, right?
Everyone came from Noah and his like 3 sons. So
They were like, okay, go repopulate the earth with no people who are not members of your family already.
And repopulate they did.
Is that why the world is so fucked up? Because we're all descendants of incestuous relationships and it starts to fuck with your brain?
Maybe. And does that mean that every time you have a disagreement with somebody or like you don't like somebody, it's just like some family drama?
Like from back in the day?
It's just like
Some hardcore family drama.
family drama
Yeah.
for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're like, hey, do you know what we should do? Because I don't know, there's nothing on the earth and we're bored. Let's build a tower that goes all the way up to heaven. That's what you do when you're real bored. And God looks at them and he sees this tower that they're building and he's like, fuck.
He's like, yo, this is my spot up in the clouds. Like, you're not supposed to just fucking come up on my spot. That's not how it works.
It's like if you're the kind of person who wants to live out in the country because you don't want to have close neighbors and then someone builds a house that's like right on your property line and you're like, God damn it.
Bob and Sue Mosher fucking show up. They're like the closest neighbors. They're 4 miles away, but they show up with a fucking welcome pie. And you're like, why are you here?
Why are you here? And they're like, we are from the
But
Midwest.
you're actually delightful. Come on in.
Yeah, that's true.
You better tell your parents that I fucking compliment them all the time without even knowing them.
I know my mom occasionally listens to the podcast, though she won't hear this because she's not a patron, but I think she has listened, which also mortifies me depending on what episode she's listened to. So I have to grapple with that a lot, but it's fine. So yeah, God's not stoked. So he realizes that, oh, okay, if these people can all speak the same language, they can work together, they can like accomplish stuff, and they can build towers up to heaven. And that's not cool. I don't want them to build a fancy tall tower into my neighborhood. And God's like, no, not in my backyard.
No, this is not a vibe.
This is not a vibe. So he decides to make everyone speak a different language and scatter them all around so that they can't build a tower up to heaven.
Why didn't he just fucking knock it down like a Jenga?
Because like then they could have just built another one. They'd be like, oh, well, let's all talk to each other.
So basically he was like, you know what? I'm just going to make you guys not be able to communicate. And then you can't communicate on how to build this tower.
Yes, literally that.
And then also you guys are all just like getting way too buddy-buddy. So I'm going to send some of you over here, some of you over there.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's how languages happened.
And different populations and
Because like
whatnot.
the Bible has to be able to explain everything. So they were like, hey, this is how this happened. And guess what he called that city where this all happened at?
Jerusalem.
Babel. Because they're all babbling.
Really? Because that's why?
I'm pretty sure that's where that word comes from. I could be making that up. Listeners, if I'm making that up, you let me know.
I think it's so funny when I make up random facts in my head, like, and I realize later, like, there's no truth to that. Where did I get that? Yeah.
I just said it.
Okay, wait, hold on. In the King James, I know in the Mormon Bible, yes, but I forgot. In the King James Bible, yes, Cain and Abel.
Mm-hmm.
Cain was marked, right?
Yep.
To, quote, keep him safe. Some people think that mark meant that God turned him into a person of color, right? And that's why some people think that people of color are bad because God apparently gave them a mark to like let everybody know.
Yeah.
And that's racist as shit.
Yeah. Was that just a random moment of Ashley remembering a story?
I think so. But hold on. Yes. Wait, no, it's going somewhere. Okay. So is Cain dead? Did he get flooded with the rest of the world?
Yeah. Yes. Also, like
he was like, you guys fucking suck. Like you're done.
Yeah. Also, there was probably
right?
a few generations between there. A lot of generations. He probably died before that, just like from being old. So in between these stories, there are all these sections. Like I can read you what some of these sections sound like. We don't cover them because they're not that interesting. So for example, Genesis 11:24. And Nahor lived 29 years and begat Terah. And Nahor lived after he begat Terah 119 years and begat sons and daughters. And Terah lived 70 years and begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran. It's just blocks of text that are just like who begat whom.
Honestly, I feel like you just spoke a different fucking language to me. How do people read this goddamn thing?
Well, that's why there are so many translations, because people went to read it and they were like, this is hard. So,
well, and that's why I guess they made like the Bible for dummies and the Bible for complete idiots, which I think sounds mean.
Yeah, that's right. But keep it simple, stupid. Hurts my feelings, but the best advice I ever received.
When I think of something, I think, would a stupid person do this? If so, I do not do that thing.
So yeah, speaking of that, literally Genesis 11:10 through 11:32, so that's like 22 verses, is just like lists of people who begat other people. It's just like generations and generations and generations. So Tower of Babel happens. Now everyone speaks different language. Okay. Everyone's scattered all over the earth. Everyone's having babies. And like way, way down the line, enter Abram. God just like picks Abram and he's like, hey, you're the chosen one. So I'm going to give you a great land. I'll show you when you get there. As someone who like puts every destination I'm ever going to go to into my phone, into Google Maps, stresses me out that he just set Abram off on a journey and didn't tell him where he was going, but it's fine.
Yeah.
And he's like, if people love you, then I'm going to love them. And if people fuck with you, I'm going to fuck with them. So like God's got Abram's back for no particular reason other than just because God decided it's you. You're my homie.
He's like, you got begat by somebody, then you begat somebody else, and I'm into it.
I'm into it. Yeah. So Abram goes on this journey. He brings his nephew Lot, and we're going to tell you more about Lot, and it's going to be a lot. And his wife Sarai, who the Bible makes a point to tell us she was barren, which I'm really glad that that's not a word we use anymore because that just sounds mean.
Yeah. What do we say now? I think I'm barren,
I
though.
don't know. You say you can't have kids. I made myself barren.
The amount of times that I was not as safe as I should have been, or like my 2-year boyfriend, birth control and me like did not go well. Now I have an IUD. P.S. Amazing. But hey, guys, the pull-out method is not real.
You know what? I know some people who've done really well with like the cyclical planning method, but that would stress me out too much. So I just
Oh, yeah.
got rid of my tubes.
No, but the pull-out method is not a fail-safe. But that's why I think that I probably am like barren, because I'm like, I feel like there's plenty of opportunities for me to fucking get knocked out.
Like statistically.
Yeah, but hey, I'm good. I'm good.
But Sarai was not good. And so they're wondering.
Hey, wait, hold on. She was good.
She was good.
Being barren
Yeah.
or not being able to have children does not make you bad.
Yeah.
We want to make that
No.
discernment.
But back in this way back when times, when it was all about repopulating and passing on your lineage, yeah, it was
being fruitful and whatnot.
It was rough.
Yeah, okay.
They get to Egypt. Hey, a place you know. It's a real place.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like I just know more like about Jewish history, because like when I think about stuff, I think about like Moses or whoever led the Jews through the desert
That's
for
Moses.
40 years.
Uh-huh.
And then they get to Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Right. And then they speak Hebrew.
Yep, this is just
I don't know why I know Jewish history so much more than.
I mean, this is still that. It's just like the prequel.
Well, I guess it is still Christianity,
Yeah,
right?
it's all, yeah.
Ugh, God, it's so confusing. Jesus.
Mm-hmm. So Abram, you'll see, becomes Abraham, and he is the father of Abrahamic religions, which is basically from Abraham, we get Islam, Judaism, and then eventually Christianity. We all technically worship the same God.
And that's what infuriates me about religion is like, oh, we all believe the same thing essentially, but like, let's be violent and fight about it.
Yeah. Next AMDB, we'll talk about that split and how that all happened.
Oh, awesome. We talked to like way back when Cam and I interviewed a religious scholar named Mark Jurgenmeyer. And I was like, so why are so many just absolute atrocities committed in the name of religion? And I loved what he said because it made so much sense. He said, people just want to do bad things and they look for things to justify that. He said that like religion isn't the problem.
People are
It's
the
like
problem.
People being bad are the problem. And then it's like a cult leader, you know, they're like, ooh, the Bible, but really they just want to like fuck your kids and take your money. But they use like the Bible as a fucking, path.
Excuse. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Interesting, right?
That is an interesting thing to think about.
Because I always blamed religion and I'm like, well, maybe it's not religion's fault. Maybe it's people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, because if you look at Christianity, like Christianity is a very loving religion that teaches you to accept people and to treat them how you would want to be treated. And, people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones and all of this stuff. But we just like.
Not in the Old Testament, though, right? I mean, the Old Testament's pretty hardcore.
Yeah. But
didn't like a bunch of women get stoned to death in the Old Testament?
yeah, a lot of people get stoned in the Bible.
I don't like that.
No, but you know what you would like? Egypt.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm into Egypt. Let's
Though
go.
actually you might not like Egypt because so Abram and Sarai get there and Abram looks at Sarai and he says, all right, here's the thing. You're really hot and that's going to be a problem if they know that you're my wife. So we're going to pretend that you're my sister so that like this is okay because otherwise they'll kill me so they can take you if they think you're my wife. So you're my sister now.
So already people are just bad.
Yeah. Oh,
like
yeah.
it's already bad people in the world.
Oh, they had to destroy the whole world and then they came back and they're all bad again.
Well, I thought he destroyed the world because everybody was bad and he was like, we need a fresh batch.
And
And
it's
then
still
they
bad.
all went bad too.
Yeah. So they go in and they're pretending that Sarai is Abram's sister. Pharaoh sees her and Pharaoh goes, man, that is one pretty lady. She's
Pharaoh, like the king, like King Tut type Pharaoh.
the very
Okay,
same.
cool.
So
I didn't know those were coexisting.
yeah, because when you think about Moses, it was the Pharaoh that drove them out of Egypt.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Is that like Cleopatra time too?
We are way before. Did you know Cleopatra lived, God, what is that statistic? Cleopatra lived closer to the times of Martin Luther King Jr. or something than she did the pyramids being built.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
It's something weird. That
Interesting.
might not be the exact statistic, but she is much more recent than I think we realize.
I'm also realizing that God loves to just throw people in the middle of the fucking desert. Like he never sends anybody to like a cool island with like some vegetation. Like
Yeah. There,
just always the desert.
I guess there might be, but you have to remember that the Bible was written by people. So there's probably written by people who live in the desert and they wrote what they knew.
Interesting.
Now we're getting outside the bounds of what I know and into
Where's the scribe,
history.
though, Michelle?
Where is the scribe?
I'm gonna make that's got to be a shirt.
It should be a shirt with the Bible. Pharaoh's banging Abram's wife. And, remember how God...
How's Abram feeling about this? Does he know?
He knows. Yeah, because remember, he was the one that said, you're too hot to be my wife because they'll kill me and take you. So we're going to say you're my sister. And so Abram knows. But remember, God told Abram, you're my homie. I have your back. So God sees that the Pharaoh is banging Abram's wife. And so he plagues him. He sends...
The Pharaoh?
Yeah, he sends plagues.
Well, dude, you shouldn't be fucking with God.
Yeah,
apparently.
but he thought it was his sister.
Right. Super cool.
Yeah.
I feel like Abram just fucking set himself up. That's his problem. He, like he set the whole situation up for disaster.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, Abram should have just been honest and trusted God, but he didn't. And this is what happens when you don't trust the Lord.
See, this is exactly what fucking happens when you guys don't put your faith in the Lord. Just, take that as a warning.
Yeah. So Pharaoh finds out that he's getting these plagues because Sarai is Abram's wife, and he calls up Abram and he says, what the fuck, dude? Why didn't you just tell me this was your wife? Now I'm all plagued. Why'd you tell me she was your sister? I wouldn't have banged her if I knew she was your wife. So he gives her back and he says, go away.
He's like, listen, me and Sarai would not have been going to Pound Town this whole fucking time if I knew that your homie was going to send a bunch of locusts and shit.
Yeah. So he says,
that was the plague, right? Locusts.
And frogs and stuff. I don't know. It just says the great plagues, but yeah, who knows?
Just sandstorms or something. They weren't great.
Sandstorm. I
don't know what's happening.
You remember Sandstorm?
No.
What?
What is it?
The original EDM song? I think it was the first EDM ever. Hold on.
See, it's funny because you would know that because it's
from that
old.
time frame.
It's old as fuck.
Thank you. I have a brand. And that brand is I listen to old music. Hold on. You definitely
My brand
know
is
this song.
I'm old as fuck.
Yeah, Sandstorm. Just gives me DDR memories. Okay,
tell me.
So they get the fuck out
Of Egypt. Sarai and Abram.
Yeah, because you remember Pharaoh's pissed. And so Pharaoh's pissed off and they get the fuck out. And remember, Abram was with his nephew Lot. Remember my a lot pun?
And it's going to be a lot.
It's going to be a lot.
Right. Okay.
So Lot and Abram part ways, and Lot decides to go to a city called Sodom. Ashley, are you?
Sodom and Gomorrah.
And that's where we're going today.
I've heard of this.
Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with the term sodomy?
I thought that it had something naughty to it. Yes, sodomy is anal sex.
Yep. And in Sodom, they were apparently doing that a lot. The Bible says that the men in Sodom were wicked sinners.
Just fucking anally fucking everybody?
Yeah. Though what's interesting is the Bible doesn't specifically lay that out. But I think when I think back to what I was taught, I distinctly remember homosexuality being a component of why Sodom was so bad. But the Bible just says...
Were they fucking women in the ass too?
Maybe.
The dudes were just fucking each other in the ass.
Well, I'll give you the long story and we can make our assumptions from there.
Okay.
If the Bible is about anything, it's about making your own interpretations.
And then listening fervently to someone else's interpretation.
Exactly. Okay, so Lot goes to Sodom, where the men are wicked sinners. Abram goes his own way. God tells Abram...
Wait, Lot's his son?
Lot's his nephew.
That's so fucking random. Like, why is there a nephew around all of a sudden?
I mean,
like,
I don't know.
What the fuck? Does he know he's going to Sin City? Like, is that a choice? Or he just ends up there and is like, whoa, a lot of ass fucking here.
I don't know, actually. It doesn't say. So you can make your own interpretation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll think about that.
Yeah, think about it. So, Lot goes to Sin City. Abram goes his own way. God tells him, you're going to have so many descendants. It's going to be like grains of sand. Have you ever heard? You probably wouldn't have because if you never went to church, but this always is like the Father Abraham had many sons. Had many sons, had Father Abraham. I am one of them, and so are you. So let's all praise the Lord.
I know John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith.
That's not
his name is my name
that's
too.
Not a religious song.
Well, whatever. Fine.
That's from Barney, I think. Which I mean, also stoked on that. But
I always wondered where the fuck that came from. Who is John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith?
His name is my name too. So they go their own way. Now we get through a whole chapter where there's a bunch of wars. People are getting kidnapped. Nothing is like important or fucked up, but just know that wars and kidnappings are happening. Abram is sad because God tells him he's going to have a beach of sand worths of descendants, but he's looking at Sarai going, you're barren. How is that going to happen? And God says, I promise I'm going to give you babies. Just sacrifice some animals to me real quick. So Abram did. And then after Abram sacrifices those animals, God says, look, Sarai is barren. So sleep with her maid. Her maid's name? Hagar. Like Hagar the Horrible, like the Sunday comic. I don't know. It's like, I just picture a little Viking man. But they have a kid named Ishmael. And so this is where Judaism and Islam split off. So Judaism and Islam both have Abraham, but Islam believe that God's blessing comes through Ishmael, and Judaism believes God's blessing comes through Abram's future son, Isaac. Fun fact.
Okay.
Yeah. And God makes a deal with Abram. He says, okay, your name, not Abram anymore. It's now Abraham.
Just cause,
as a sign.
got a better ring to it.
And he says, look, I'm going to make sure everything in your life is awesome. All you have to do is see that tiny bit of skin at the end of your penis? I'm going to need you to cut that off. And I don't
like that.
I'm going to need every man
I don't like it.
Forever and ever to cut that bit of skin off. And
it's like, why did you put it in the first place there then, God?
Yeah. And that's sign of the covenant. So
as a grown man, he had to circumcise himself.
So God
That
tells
doesn't
him,
sound great.
hey, do this at 8 days old for all your new babies. But I know that you're like 90 and I know that Ishmael is 13, but you guys, you can't have that foreskin anymore. I'm going to need you to cut that off.
I've always actually I've always wondered about circumcision, because it started off as a Jewish practice and then it just became like the norm.
Yeah. Well, because of how it's the norm in America because we're such a Judeo-Christian culture. It's not the norm everywhere. Yeah. It is a very, very specifically.
It's a religious thing still. I thought they just did it to everybody now.
It's a decision that you make when you have, I'm speaking completely out of secondhand knowledge because obviously I've never had a kid, but I think it's a decision that you make when you have a son. Are you going to get him circumcised or not? And I think it's the norm. I would bet that most people who get their children circumcised don't realize that the practice came from Abraham and God's covenant with him. But it is very culturally normal now in America because we are such a Judeo-Christian society. And I think if you look at other countries that have their roots in Christian and Jewish religions, you'll probably see it as the norm, but it's not norm the standard practice in a lot of other countries.
Interesting, because in certain African tribes, female genital mutilation is
so
quite a thing. And I've kind of often wondered or thought do we not have the practice of mutilating males' genitals as infants?
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking hardcore too. Except for it's really sad with the African tribes, at least the one that I heard of, because it doesn't happen until the girls are older.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't remember being a baby, but I don't know. Maybe it's less traumatizing as a baby because you don't remember.
I'm sure that helps. And I think you know what? I'm not even going to say because I don't know, and I don't want to speak out of my ass about things that are actually a really big deal. I'll speak out of my ass about a lot of things, but I don't want to speak out of my ass about female genital mutilation because I don't know.
No, that's cool.
Yeah. And Abram and Isaac don't have foreskin anymore. And as part of this, you know how Abram turned into Abraham? Sarai is now Sarah. So why not? And
just because.
Yeah. And guess what? At 90 years old, she's no longer barren. So she now has a son named Isaac.
So she pops out a kid at 90.
She also thought this was ridiculous in the Bible, if that helps.
She was like, what the fuck, dude? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. And God was kind of pissed that she thought it was ridiculous. He's like, do you not think that I am, God and could make you have a baby? And she goes, no, man, I wasn't saying anything. Yeah, no, totally. Let's do this. Let's have a baby. And so yeah, all that happens. So that's pretty fucked up. But the most fucked up stuff happens to Lot, because remember, Lot went to wicked Sodom. And
who's Gomorrah?
So Gomorrah is who is what, where?
I'm like, I've heard these together.
No, they are. So they're like sister cities. Just Sodom and Gomorrah, two super wicked cities together. But Lot lives specifically
What's going on in Gomorrah?
In Sodom. I think the same thing, but maybe Gomorrah was just a weird word. So they said, let's just call it sodomy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. And okay, so this part, do you remember the episode of The Office where Dwight is eating the canned food from his shelter that was about to expire, and him and Jim are having a conversation, and Jim's like, what, could it happen in 5 years? And Dwight says, yeah, I think so. Okay, what about 6 years?
4 years.
Yeah. And he like he's like, yeah, that seems reasonable. So God talks to Abraham and he says, basically, dude, Sodom and Gomorrah, don't know if you've heard about them, real fucked up. And Abraham says, okay, I get it. But if there were 50 good people, would you save the city? And God goes, yeah, I guess if there were 50 good people, I could save the city. Abraham goes, okay, but 45. What if there were only 45 good people? Would you not destroy Sodom and Gomorrah? And God goes, okay, for 45, sure. Abraham goes, okay, so what if there are only 40? Would you save him for 40? And he bargains God all the way down to 10. So,
wow, God was a terrible haggler.
Yeah, God should have read that Negotiate Like Your Life Depends on It book. Because
I mean, so many self-help books, like how to win friends
and influence people,
whatnot.
Yeah, just any of those. And so Lot is in Sodom and God's all, okay, if there are 10 good people, I won't destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, but if not, they are fucked. And
like floods or the same jam as before.
It's a slightly different jam. I bet you'll be familiar with it when we get there.
Oh, okay.
So Lot is there, and all of a sudden, and I don't really know why, but 2 angels roll up to Sodom, and
yeah,
do
they have like wings and halos and everything like we imagine?
I don't know. It doesn't really say. So I guess, I always pictured them as just like really good looking dudes, but who knows?
What if the angels were dinosaurs though? Did you ever think of that?
Sounds like you're about to start a new religion. So the angels don't want to be bad house guests. So they tell Lot, don't worry, we're going to sleep outside in the streets. But the men in Sodom see the angels go to Lot's house, and they come up to Lot's house and they say, dude, who are these guys in your house? Bring them outside. We want to know them.
So they want to rape the angels.
They want to rape the angels. Yeah. A fun thing about know in the Bible, it never means like, we just want to like meet them, get to know them, meet and greet, find out about them a little bit more.
It's like, I want to reach deep inside their soul and their asshole and really know them.
Their ass soul, if you will. There you go.
Good one.
Yeah. And, and Lot is yelling to the, because they're outside his house, practically trying to beat down his door. Like, give us your angel men. We want to have sex with them. And,
oh my God.
And Lot.
So Lot's like, he's chilling in the city, but he's like not.
Yeah, he's not a bad dude.
He's not being a part of the Sodom culture.
No.
If you.
Yeah, he's just hanging out
like
there. And so Lot says, hey, men of Sodom, please don't rape my angel visitors. Instead, I've got these 2 virgin daughters. Do you want to fuck them?
Stop it.
Yep.
And then they do.
So no, the dudes are they're like, no, we want to fuck these angels. And so the angels are inside.
We don't want your child daughters. We're not pedophiles. We're ass fuckers.
Yes.
Okay.
We are angel fuckers and we just want to fuck these angels. And, so the angels are in the house. The men are trying to bang down the doors to bang the angels. And so the angels, and I quote, smote the men with blindness so that they couldn't find the door.
So I'm guessing smote is a word that doesn't fucking exist anymore since I've never heard of it.
The past tense of smitten. Or smite. Yeah. Smite, smitten, smote.
He smited these fuckers with a...
Smote with blindness.
With a... blindness. Okay.
Which honestly, sneaky tactic, because if they can't find your door, they can't break in and rape your angel visitors.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the angels look at Lot and his family and they go, okay, you guys got to get the fuck out of here. This city is fucked and it's going to get destroyed. So they tell Lot.
Oh, because God's already been like, yeah, the deal I made about the 10? Like, that's a no-go.
He's like, I don't think there's even 10. These guys literally tried to rape my angels.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not down with that. That's a hard no for me, dog.
So they tell Lot and his family, get out and like, do not look back.
Never look back.
So God rained fire and brimstone on Sodom and Gomorrah. Have you heard about fire and brimstone?
I've heard of that.
Fire and brimstone?
Yeah, what is brimstone?
Oh, that's a question I didn't
because I have heard of it, but
like that's a question I wasn't anticipating.
You're like, I don't.
But
it's brimstone.
Yeah, I'm like,
Ashley?
I don't know. It's the stone from Brim. It's a movie in 2016. And that is every result I'm getting right now is just the film. I don't know. It's like it's bad rock. It's bad rock. I don't know.
Hold on, I think I got this. Fire and brimstone is an idiomatic expression referring to God's wrath. It means the torments of hell.
Oh.
So I don't know what brimstone means, but when you combine fire and brimstone,
sulfur.
it means it's sulfur.
It's sulfur, apparently.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I guess sulfur and fire equals hell.
Yeah, it's real bad. Well, yeah, because you'll see fire and brimstone pop up later, too.
It says fire and brimstone is the torments suffered by sinners in hell. That's from Merriam-Webster.
Yeah, there you go. Wikipedia. Brimstone, an archaic term synonymous with sulfur.
So everybody in Sodom and Gomorrah went to hell.
I think this is literally like, because, okay, so according to Wikipedia, brimstone, an archaic term synonymous with sulfur, evokes the acrid odor of sulfur dioxide given off by lightning strikes. In my head, I always pictured actual fire and brimstone coming from the sky and just like destroying the cities, but you know, who's to say?
So it could be like fire and lightning.
Yeah, but like sulfur, like just coming down.
But either way, like everybody is
Everyone
either
is
in
dying.
hell or they're in hell on earth.
Yeah.
Does real hell exist yet? Heaven and hell? Have those like popped up
They
as
haven't
things?
come up in the lore yet. No.
Okay. But so they're either just like having hell on earth or they've actually been sent to hell. We're not sure.
Yeah, it's not good though.
Okay.
And so Lot and his family are running away to this city called Zor. But remember how they weren't supposed to look back?
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Lot's wife looked back.
Sarah.
That's Abraham's wife. I don't know if we know
God damn it.
what Lot's wife's name is, but
I mean, is that important, Michelle?
no,
You know?
she's a
Come on.
woman.
Yeah.
She looked back, and so she turned into a pillar of salt.
I was thinking, is it like a Medusa thing, like where she turned to stone?
Yeah, no,
And
salt.
kind of.
She's salt now.
Is she like a human-shaped salt pillar or just...
I don't know. I don't think we know that. Just let's see. What's the?
You know what? Bible writers,
You need more details.
You leave a lot wanting.
Yeah, it just
here.
says,
Okay.
1926, but his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt.
Okay. God likes to get creative with how he punishes.
It's true. You know, you get bored just like flooding the earth all the time. So Gotta
Flooding
mix
and
it up.
fire and brimstone.
Yeah.
And you're like, what else do we got?
also salt. We're coming to the end of our story this morning.
no.
I know. Lot and his two daughters are out wandering together. They go live in a cave.
Through the desert.
Well, they go live in a cave together because, you know, remember, mom is now salt. So it's just Lot and his two daughters. And so the daughters get together and they go, well, now it's just you, me, and dad. And there's no way that we're going to be able to get laid and have babies because it's just us living in this cave. We got to keep the family line going. So you know what we're going to do? This part literally makes me like nauseous.
Fuck our dad.
We're going to get our dad real drunk and have sex with him so that we can keep our family line going.
So you just said that in a nice way. The daughters are like, we're going to get our dad real drunk and fucking rape him.
Yes.
To impregnate ourselves.
Yeah.
What is happening in this fucking book?
This is the Bible.
Like literally what the fuck is going on, you guys? There's like ass fucking, there's incest, there's rape, like there's fire and brimstone. Like this is like,
It's the whole thing.
I mean, ugh,
Yep.
wow.
Welcome to the Bible. So the first night, the older sister does it. The second night, the younger sister does it. And they both get pregnant. And that is where I'm going to leave you today in the Bible.
Wait, really quick. Does Lot wake up
So it
and
says,
is like, how are you guys fucking pregnant? Like, is he curious as to how they got babies in their belly?
I don't think it says.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the Bible just leaves a lot unexplained, which
Yeah. Well, you know, questions, shelf, all that.
put your questions on the shelf, my friends. On the Michelfies.
On the Michelfies. Ew. Like, can we not associate that with this portion of the Bible? Actually, I'd rather not.
You're like,
Like, that's a little
not
much. for
loving
me.
that comparison. Yeah. Well, I mean, it was a magical fucking journey as usual in the most fucked up way.
You never realized that the Bible had this much just sheer unadulterated chaos in it, did you?
I could have started a show called That's So Fucked Up and made it entirely about the Bible.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we like to keep things fucking spicy here and switch it up. So
Sure.
we do it once a month for the patrons.
3 months in a row and we're still only in Genesis.
I know. Last episode, I was like, Michelle, what do I title this one? Like, what book are we in? She's like, Genesis. Definitely still Genesis. I was like, oh, okay.
I'm like, Genesis 4.
A lot of info in there, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
But now we've made it all the way through Genesis 19 now.
I mean, I'm in no rush. I'm having a great time.
We're tracking
I
along.
had no idea that the Bible would be like most favorite topics we've ever discussed. It's super random, but I'm so into it.
Everybody's talking all this stuff about him. Why don't they just let God live? Tell me why. He don't need permission, makes his own decisions. That's God's prerogative.